Welcome back to another episode of Bad Rolls. Sorry for the technical difficulties, and you're going to see a little camera work live. It's going to happen in just a moment, audience. I thought we were going to be without Garrett here at the last second, but looks like he's going to be joining us any moment now. So while we're waiting on that, I'm going to bring all the cast up to say hello to all of you. You're live,
Hello.
Everybody.
Hello.
So yes, fans of Bad Rolls, we've got Garrett coming in any second now, and if we were all sitting around a table, it'd be a lot easier. But I have to shift cameras like this, so this is gonna get interesting. You get to see me try to. There it is. Let him in.
Knock, knock, knock.
No camera from him yet. Now Garrett is Flint. Flint is Carrick. Haster is both Haster and Zangulus. Zangulus, you're
We're
like
having telepathic communication.
a quarter there, and then Raven's there, and Carrick is now Raven. Garrett is just blank.
Haster had a magical accident. It turned him into a two-headed abomination. Now requires two.
That actually gives me a really good. That would be so much fun to play an Etten with somebody, like, like they're the other head of your Etten. Every action you take is a contested will roll.
I just had stars appear on my face. How did that happen?
What?
I
don't
You
see
did?
Stars on your face.
was it when
It's when someone joins the room. I think sometimes this program throws little sparkle stars. I saw it earlier. I think. Yeah.
Oh, there's a heart. People are dropping hearts now. Crap, they found the emotes.
What?
I don't
There's
even know
emotes
what's-
now?
you can never stop us now, Grakees.
Oh my gosh, there is.
Oh my goodliness.
Wrecked.
Oh,
Oh God! Poem just used the poop. This has gone off the rails. We've been away for 2 weeks, everybody. We'll get into D&D story in a moment. Disadvantage! All of you disadvantage! I'm Muppet flailing because of you!
I do love Muppet Flower.
Rockies, I love you. Have a kiss.
Aww. That's not a Carrick helmet, that's a Flint helmet.
Ooh, Flint helmet. And this is a Flint helmet.
No, that's not in-game Flint.
No, that's that's real life Flint. They're two different things.
oh my God, the ski yeti. That's outrageous.
Oh no! I imagine we're gonna get a lot of use out of that one.
How do I make it stay? Oh, there's an Astro Pub one as well. Astro Pub.
It'll disappear with a little bit of time. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, after a rock in the guard's face, just deal with it.
Here's your entertainment chat. Us messing around with the emotes while we get the cameras and stream up and running.
While Astropub is trying to get in here still, he was in and then disappeared. I think he's still trying to set his equipment up. You know what? I'm gonna give my recap in a little bit. I'm waiting on it still. I wanna put my head through the desk.
Give him a few minutes.
Yay, DMing.
What's
So, is there any announcements from all of you while we're waiting on Astro? Anything you're working on? Anything coming up?
I do actually have an announcement for once.
Oh.
And that
Eric has one.
that in June, I'm returning to streaming.
Ah.
Hi.
We will have the lamb mower back.
Yeah, but probably temporarily. It'll be a summer thing. But we'll see. We will see where things lead.
Summer
that
streaming.
cat is-
Bloody summer
that is
streamers.
like, release me.
Fair weather streamers. Well, I've finally done all of the traveling and moving around that I'm gonna do until TwitchCon or CitizenCon. So my schedule should be stabilizing soon. I still obviously haven't got my green screen, my lighting, my stream PC, and all the other things I need to be back up and running fully. But I will at least be stable and streaming regularly again now.
Welcome
Yay.
back then. Oh, let's see if he appears. Audio only.
Finally.
Only.
Yeah, but I just got back off a 2,700-mile road trip
Wow.
So why was all your stuff in Texas?
in 3 days. Why is my stuff in Texas? Because I lived in Dallas for a year, a couple years ago, and I had my desk, my chair, all of my
Hold on.
DVDs and books, my TV, which is currently, because I have no TV stand, it's on top of a box.
Well, you know.
Fancy.
If it works, it works.
My my Tron poster. Signed
Nice, nice, nice.
by Zachary
Oh,
Levi.
Nice.
There's a
Nice.
Chuck
Oh, excellent.
reference.
Very good Chuck reference.
See, I thought you said your Trump poster, and I was concerned.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
my Trump poster's... It's not really.
That's Milo's PMAT, right?
Yeah.
I was just adjusting the cameras and
I
oh,
see it
there we
now.
go.
Ooh.
Well, he's always going to be last.
There we
so-
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing the cameras now.
This camera, I think it noise as well. But can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hey.
Can you hear us?
I don't think
I don't
you
know
can
if
hear
you
us.
Hey.
See, all right, Carrick's good. Raven Cam properties. Yes, we're doing this live, folks. We're doing this live. We're setting everything up live. This is what you usually see me struggling with behind the scenes forever and ever.
Bless
We
you.
can hear him.
Yeah, I don't
Bless
think
you.
you can hear us.
I think he's using a Yeti as well.
Bless you.
That's a good sneezing.
Bless you.
How did you fix it, Flint?
Unplug my Yeti.
Oh, that's how.
Restart.
See. You get to see all the behind the scenes work, everyone. This is all the behind the scenes camera stuff. I can't do this except if I shut the stream down.
It will be the entire documentary.
This is why we're a little bit late every stream.
And now everybody just flip positions on the screen again. Oh, wait, let him in.
I can't wait
I
till
think
this
this is why every stream is ever late.
Yes.
Yep.
Basically.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
There we go.
Hey, we hear you.
Ah.
Hey.
Success.
All right. So I can't use the Yeti at all is the answer?
Yeah, that's why I had to do. I had to unplug the Yeti. I don't know why Yeti is stealing audio for this particular application, but it is.
It wasn't doing it earlier.
I mean, you can use the Yeti, but you have to plug a headset into the Yeti.
Oh, I can do that. Give me a second.
You're trying to twist your head off?
Yes, he is.
Pulls his head off and sets it on the desk so his body can have a better view.
Grakees is probably trying to set up a camera, so.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it too early to start drinking right now? Because I feel like I need to.
Go ahead,
You're well
do it.
behind me, my friend. I'm already on my way.
Dude, you should see how much cheap American beer I have in my fridge right now. The leftovers from the music concert.
And he just disappeared again.
That sounds disgusting.
Now I let him in again.
You touch anything and it goes crazy.
Okay, now we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Should start drinking.
Ah.
God.
Hi, folks.
There must be an emote for this.
Oh yeah, let's see what we got.
I need to make an emote for
Let's
this.
fuck them out.
There is the bad roll emote. What is it? I can't remember. Grok bad, maybe?
Yes.
Grok fail? It might be Grok fail.
I
think it's Grok fail.
This is the mode that properly.
He's back. He's back.
Go.
He's back.
Okay. He's back. I think everyone's in camera position.
Back in black.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us now?
There you go.
Can you hear us?
Excellent.
Yes, I can hear you. I plugged in.
Success.
Sorry,
Oh.
guys. Jesus.
Everything is fine.
No, everything is on fire. That's what's going on right now.
No, everything's fine.
It's only 45 minutes late. It's fine.
Yeah. With that,
We've been later, right?
Here.
time to recap. We're just
Okay.
we're just going to this recap time. Where's the music? Ah! Too loud. So, where we last left off with bad rolls, the party had gotten themselves onto a large ship sailing away from Caprisi and heading towards, as far as they knew, Tem. The ship was not exactly as they expected. Large, luxurious, major galley area. They didn't even explore the entire thing. It was so large. But it was a bit ostentatious, shooting off fireworks as it sailed through the night across the open sea of Farlane. However, as they continued to sail towards Tem, they noticed something off in the distance following. As it started to get closer, they caught a look of the flag and the symbol on the sails. And it was of the two brothers. I have to look up their names. It's been 2 weeks. Timothy and Thomas Thingane. Pulling their sails taut, trying to make a beeline for Tem, trying to outrace them. All of a sudden, something they'd never experienced before. Some form of magic? Something. They see puffs of smoke, the sound of thunder, and then large pieces of metal shaped into balls started slamming into their ship as it tried to make a run for Tem. The ship taking a battering over and over, some of these very pieces of metal exploding, taking out one mast, two masts, taking out the helmsman that had taken over the ship, which was self-directing before. Haster deciding to take up position at the rear of the ship and attempt to shoot some of these objects out of midair with his warlock abilities and his Eldritch Blast, taking pieces of shrapnel to himself. The ship, unable to maintain itself from the battering, taking too many to the rear, opened up to the sea, started to sink. At this point, they were close enough to Tem that two interceptors out of Tem raced forward and took up position in between the Thinganes and their own ship. With that, they look up and see two what appear to be flying carpets going overhead with a couple of men sitting on there. Wands in hand, pointing down at the Thingane ship, they noticed fireballs starting to rain down on there, exploding, attempting to set the Thingane ship ablaze, defending them. The Thinganes retreat north as everybody from the ship that they left, Caprisi, on quickly switches over to one of the interceptors, including the children, Aarathen and Markus. And with that, the sun starts coming up over the eastern part. You can see the sunrise over the sea. And they head towards Tem, noticing now the large port before them and the two telltale statues that are in the large cut open mountain pass, one of a Tarask and one of Bahamut, one made of stone and the other what appeared to be made of precious metal, possibly even platinum. So with this, they finally come to the capital itself, Tem. You're arriving now on an interceptor. You'd all gotten aboard. The smoke from your ship is behind you out in the sea, off in the distance, and you're pulling up to this large port. Haggard, not as rested as you'd hope, though some rest. Some of you having accidentally left equipment behind. Not gathering everything before the ship sank. And you come up to this port, and you thought Caprisi was a pretty large... Before. You thought Caprisi was a good-sized port with a couple of berths for very large ships and multiple spots for smaller fishing boats and sailing ships. But here, you look, and it is a full functioning port with hundreds of spots for smaller cargo ships and dozens of spots for large ships. Some of them you can tell are large military style vessels of Tem. This is their main hub of all commerce through the area, as well as defensive posts to hold the Sea of Farlane against the Yzgramir Empire, which has been mentioned a few times.
All right, I look over at a good friend, Carrick, and say, you do not touch anything here. You do not touch things, because when you touch things, we get in trouble. And I cannot fight every single person in this town. No touchy.
Right now, I don't want to touch anything. I just want a bath, I want some sleep, and most importantly, I want a goddamn drink.
None of those things you steal.
I could go for a drink.
Yeah. It was a rough night.
Well, where we gotta take these kids?
I know a place. No, we don't need to take children to any more bars.
That's been done.
There is an orphanage in this town run by the Sisters of Pelor. They will take excellent care of the children. They will hide them from harms. They will protect them from evils. I know because they've done similar things for me in the past. I don't want to go back, personally, but we should take the kids there.
You sell it well.
We're bad influences.
Yeah, we are bad influences, and the kids will do better without us, and then we won't have to deal with kids.
Who doesn't want to? Who does not want to deal with children? They are the future.
Yes, but they are very difficult to keep alive when people shoot exploding whatever at us on a boat.
True.
This is true.
You
I
just
just want to
gotta
make
teach
sure
them
they're
to
safe.
move.
You teach them the love of sailing. This is how this works, right?
And the mercy of Pelor.
I think we need to drop off the kids, and then we need to go re-equip ourselves, since nobody grabbed my shit while they were getting off the boat.
Was that our job?
Your own shit.
I was busy saving people.
Well, whoopee-doo. You're the
Well-
one who still forgot your stuff.
None of your stuff was magic, right?
I'm not taking the blame for this.
Because we can replace non-magic stuff pretty easily. If it was magic, then you're gonna need to go for a really deep swim to find it.
This is why I sleep in all my stuff.
A fleet.
Yes.
Do you still have the Minotaur axe?
It's still strapped to my bag.
If I remember correctly, that was it was magic of some kind.
I just need to find a good blacksmith to get it cut down to my size a little bit.
Aye, okay.
I don't know that exactly a blacksmith is... whatever. Yeah, a blacksmith. We'll find the right kind of blacksmith to get it cut down to your size.
I believe our friend Hastur is trying to say that you should probably find out what kind of magic this thing has.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because generally speaking, from personal experience, you take something that is magic and you try to cut it. Sometimes it does not
doesn't cut so good most of the time.
Sometimes it explodes. Sometimes it turns you into a rabbit. Okay, this is just personal experience.
If you're lucky, it'll do it in that order.
All right. Well, you guys know more about this sort of malarkey than me. I just like to hit things with it. So let's make it happen.
Well,
Anyway, is Lady Isme around here?
who-
You
what?
can see her looking around. You can see her. She's out of earshot on the ship. She's off with Markus and the children, sort of near the front, waiting as the ship is setting up planks to allow everyone to disembark down to the docks, and just watching over the city. And they're standing there talking to each other, but it's not really something you can hear from here. They're talking in pretty low tones.
Right. Well, let's go over and get Lady Isme and her kids to the orphanage or wherever she decides they need to be, and then we can go do some shopping.
Has anybody got any money?
I do still have my money.
I have money, but I also have these, and I hold up what's remaining of my elixir.
Yeah. I see you saved that.
Yay, we saved some of them.
And I also have and I pull out a little
The water
water
skin.
skin that I had. And these as well. We need to save, and then I need to sell these to the people here. Docks usually works better, and then we can use the money to help the children.
Well, I have this much.
Good for you, Flint.
Alrighty. Well,
Well, I mean, Raven, what do we have left in your party funds?
There's a little bit. I think we'll be all right for what we need to do.
all right. Good. Question for you, Grakees. How long do I think it's going to take for us to sail back to the harbor and actually be docked?
You are actually docked at this moment.
We're
and
pulling in. And,
Yeah, they're
quickly
they're
after.
getting the planks and tying off the ship.
Cool. All right. Well, we should be appreciative of our hosts for giving us a lift the last bit of the way and get off their ship post haste. And I will heft my backpack up with all my crap in it and head toward where they're lowering the planks down, so I can be quit of the sea for now.
I mean, sea is wonderful. I
It
just
is.
go up like 10 times.
Do you feel like a new man? You purged out your entire life from your stomach from being on the sea?
Pretty much. I mean, it's a
Oh.
cleansing experience.
That's
And
rough.
that's also why I need a drink right now, so can we get off this goddamn boat?
Yeah. Let's go find a nice inn as a place for us to reconvene after we take the children someplace significantly more safe.
All right, let's do this.
All right,
All
as
right.
you approach Lady Aarathen and Markus, they look over, kind of noticing you at this point, and just, she gives a quick little motion while still leaning over the railing. You can see her face is pretty pained at everything that's gone on, and she's hunched over at this point.
Lady Aarathen, will you survive the day?
Well, though I don't really want his hands on me, could your friend here, Garrett, could you please take a look? And as she pulls back on the edge of, the shirt to show the bandages, you can see fresh blood is starting to seep through.
All right. Garrett, come over here. She's got an open wound. We need your assistance.
Of course. All right. So what I do? No.
Roll me a
Okay,
medicine check.
I would like to assist him.
Do you have
He needs,
proficiency?
I do not. But if
This
he
is
needs
just to
scraps of-
figure out. This is
Okay,
just
yeah.
sort of to figure out what's going on.
Well, when he actually starts to work, I want to help.
18.
Okay. You can tell, and getting in close with her kind of allowing it. Just you can see she's leaning away a little bit and keeping her eye on you. You pull some of the bandages that had been set up that you set up earlier to the side and start taking a look at the wound. It looks like it's reopened a little bit in the blast, and then you notice something else. Around the wound, the skin has sort of turned a grayish color. Not normally like you would see with decay or like the skin decaying, but a more unnatural gray coloring is forming around the wound.
I look at her and I look at her and go, I can fix this. And I go to Haster and I tell him to come close to her, kind of whisper in his, I cannot fix this. Something. She needs to see some sort of magical healer more than me because there's something wrong with her skin. It is turning gray.
Well, I hope that we can 2 for 1, and when we take the children to the Sisters of Pelor, maybe they have a healer who's a little more experienced in these kind of things than you are.
Listen, I can heal anything. This is something different from normal heal. I'm just saying, she needs there's some sort of magic or poison or something like that is working in her body.
Okay, I will look at it, and
all right,
and maybe the Sisters of Pelor can help us.
So turning back around, I'm going to try to can use like a Arcana check of some kind to try to see if there's some sort of
I would also want to take a look at this little bit of what he says he cannot fix.
Yeah, roll me an Arcana check.
Ooh.
I got a 23 total.
Yeah, 21.
All right.
I got a 19.
You, Aster, definitely, especially with your experience and starting to come into your powers as a warlock, you recognize what type of corruption this is. And Garrett, knowing what you've seen being in different temples and seeing other clerics work, you know this magic to cure this is beyond you. It'll require a greater form of direct restoration on the wound in order to cure it of this. And Haster, you recognize this as some sort of necrotic-based magic that has entered through the wounds that she sustained from the forest. So there's some sort of later long-term effect that's coming into play.
So I'm going to use one of my what do I have that can help? I guess one of my cure wounds.
Lady Aarathen, I am not one to tell lies to someone when they're in bad shape. Your wound is infected with dark magics. Not that I'm
wonderful.
Sure you
Great.
already know that, but we desperately are going to need to get you to a powerful healer more so than the best we'll be able to do is stall, and unfortunately that just means longer suffering for you until we can find a proper healer. Sorry, we'll do our best.
I can heal most. This is beyond my current abilities. You will need someone who is much more aged and wise in the ways of bad magic.
Thank you. And
let's take her to the Sisters of Pelor and the children.
To the children.
The Sisters of Pelor, and with you talking, you feel a very large hand on your head. Garrett just pat you on the head a few times. Yeah, sure you can, little man. Just like you can hit anything too, and just like you have a wonderful battle cry.
My battle cry is an ancient and wonderful secret of my family. Dare you insult them?
It is a shrill and piercing cry, and it quakes terror into all those who hear it.
Markus, please stop upsetting
including
her.
allies.
You know that you're bigger than him, and more physically adept to swinging large objects. That's all you're good at, though. Don't try to think anymore. You were saying about the Sisters of Pelor?
Well, I Before this happened, they took care of me as a small child. They know more mercy than I will ever be able to impart on this world. Hopefully their mercies can heal you. Also, I think that they'll be a very safe place to put the children, as I don't have an entire memory of it because I was really small, but I'm pretty sure something tried to eat me when I was little, and one of them saved me.
We can trust the children with them.
Yeah, most importantly, we can trust the children with them. Hopefully they can heal you, and if they can't, they will at least know where to go to get you healing.
Do you have experience with them as well, Elf? You sound as if you know something.
Oddly enough, Pastor and I both came from the same place in this town.
Well, Pelor being a high god, it does seem like an option. I'm not sure how well our contacts are set up here. We never handled this side of the exchange. On getting the children out, seems like it could be a good place to start. Whereabouts in the city are they located?
Oh, can I make a history check to try to remember exactly where to go to get them? Because it's been a long time.
Yes.
I got a 15 total.
All right.
Hold on. Ooh, 18 total.
All right. You kind of remember Haster. You sort of remember the area. It wasn't great. The temple that you remember that was set up as the orphanage was sort of one of the smaller temples that are scattered throughout town. It wasn't one of the major ones that are set up in the upper end for the more rich folk. And as you remember, the city is broken out into 4 quarters, as they're called, the 4 quarters, actually. With the 5th district being the palace and the colleges of the different magics, the libraries, and the major temples. The very elaborate buildings are there, but this was off in the farming quarter. So it was sort of, if there is a slums to Tem, this is the slums. This is where the people that work the land do very menial tasks, do city services, muck work. They are in the far western side of the city. And you remember it being somewhere off in that area. Zangulus, because you still trade with the city and had been with your furs and skins, you still remember the layout decently. And you know that this specific temple was one of a group of 3 that are set up on the far western outskirts of the city, closer to where you would enter to do some of the trading with some of those merchants that work on the outside there, so you didn't really have to enter the city proper. So it's all the way across the city, probably 30 miles or so to the west, because, yeah, Haster and Zangulus, you know this city decently well, even though you haven't explored the whole thing. This is a metropolis. It is huge. Everyone else seeing this now, looking at the docks and just seeing a sea of buildings disappearing beyond the edge of the gates of the docks, you have never seen anything like this. The number of people, the bustle, you didn't think this could exist in the world, that this many people could be crowded into one place.
I just nudge Ramus like, it's a lot of opportunity here, if you know what I mean.
I second that.
Yeah. Well, let's go find ourselves a nearby tavern that we can use as a rendezvous point, and then we can get these children all to where they need to be. I don't really want to go to the orphanage myself. I don't think I could handle it. But we'll point you in the right direction.
Did I hear the comment about the opportunity? Grakees?
Oh yeah, you would have been around this.
Right.
They're close.
I look at.
Well,
I look
were
at
you
the
trying to
two
keep it quiet?
students. Me?
No, I'm asking Raven and Carrick. Were you trying to keep that really quiet?
Yes.
Roll me a perception.
Me?
Yeah, and roll me a Just stealth. Say stealth. Carrick. Oh God.
Well,
Unless you roll a nat 20, things.
no, I did not. I did not.
Even though you were inspecting Aarathen's wounds at the time, and he was trying to just be sneaky about what he was saying to her, your ear heard the word opportunity and perked up. It just rung so perfectly because of the skin now that you have full of your pink goo, and just seeking out opportunities. Apparently, that word just rung true with you. So you did indeed hear it.
I turn around and I look at them. I go, opportunity is not stealing things. We could get killed by just a small detachment of guards by this town.
We did
A
not
small
say
detachment.
anything about stealing.
Listen, the last town we went to, all of the people went crazy and started to party because we were there with the children. Okay, and so, what do you think is could happen in this much bigger town?
Well, hopefully there aren't any insane gnomes around here.
Gods.
It's not
As
a
you're
gnome.
saying that, a small bronzed gnome with slick back black hair tied into a ponytail, and the silver and black clothes of the jesters walks up between you and, so I heard the word opportunity.
Oh gosh.
What kind? Legitimate? Illegitimate? What are you looking for? I know the city quite well.
The most
No.
legit
No.
opportunity.
Legitimate.
We do not take help from jesters.
Wait, you know the city well.
You don't take help. We got
I
you
don't
out
take-
of the city.
Ignore
We
him.
got you
He's
out of
angry and
Caprisi.
not drunk enough. Come with me, and I'm gonna usher this guy away from the angry halfling. You know the city well, yeah?
I would kill that god.
Wait, if you look around the docks, and now as he's pointing out over the edge of the ship, as other of the jesters are getting out, you look out and he's pointing out to some of the dock workers, and you see silver and black. We're at every dock across Aarathen. This entire continent is ours.
Excellent.
We work the trade, we work the shipping. For him to say he doesn't trust us, well, he's going to find us everywhere.
He's just had a very
He's
bad
having
day.
a bad day.
I can imagine.
So-
It'll be forgiven for now.
Yeah, we'll sort him out and change his attitude about you guys. Don't you worry about that. Could you tell me what you would consider a most trustworthy and upright establishment wherein we might stay for a few nights?
There are many throughout this entire city. There are
Where's
You know,
one that you
hundreds of
stay?
possible establishments.
Let's cut to the crap. We need a safe place for the children.
For the children, were you not just talking about the Sisters of Pelor and the orphanage that they run? Yes, we know of this too.
Well, they're on the other side of the city. That's at least a day or two travel.
No,
That's
there's...
the most
we-
the end.
How
I'm
long
more
has it
cons-
been since you've traveled through the innards of the city? A la carte. They can take you throughout the city. There is means of travel throughout this. The city is known for being large, and there's rapid modes of transport throughout. You've been away for some time, haven't you?
I have, for sure. I have one other question for you. How difficult is it to get into the larger libraries in the city nowadays? The last time I was here, it was not such an easy feat. You had to find your book learning in some less reputable establishments.
Still very much the same. You need access into the upper district, the King's district.
You wouldn't
Not
have
many
to
are
have
allowed there.
a friend who might be able to arrange a passport for that, would you?
Well,
I don't expect it to be cheap, mind you, and not
anything can be
necessarily
arranged
today.
for a price. How much are you willing to offer for such a thing?
I'll tell you the truth right now. I don't have enough to pay for it. I just want to know that I have a contact for when I do.
You do.
Appreciate it, my friend.
You seem to understand what's going on. Find Peter.
Peter. Got it.
Yes, Peter.
I will scratch a note in my little book that I keep.
Everybody knows who he is. No last names given. But, I need to talk to the others for a second, because I heard legitimate opportunity, and I think I have something that might be just up your alley.
They're possibly liars. I don't know that they really want anything legitimate, but if we can do that, that's even better.
They seem trustworthy. Walks back over to you, Carrick, and you, Raven. He just kind of sidles up to you and... Well, legitimate. You can make much more money with illegitimate. And he's looking around to make sure nobody's really paying attention when he says that. Mind you, definitely not as harsh a punishment as Caprisi. Caprisi has gone off the rails and... Well, it seems to be a dead town now. But legitimate opportunities, there's definitely one going on. Look for the Hunters Guild. All bounty hunting in the region, all hunting of creatures, people, everything, criminals, tracking them, it runs through one location. It is registered with the city guard, and there are many competing houses, but they are all part of one guild. Mainly one guild runs each of the quarters. One for magic, one for the hunting, one for all commerce, smithing, merchants. And then the land workers, the city workers.
Bounty hunting doesn't seem so bad.
Many opportunities there, and I hear there's a great competition between the houses within the guild going on. Registering their teams, looking for fame, notoriety,
A team.
and of course, there's a hefty purse in it for anyone.
You have my curiosity, now you have my attention. So what about what's that about fame? Fill me in more on this.
You haven't heard of
sure.
the Great Hunt?
I'm not around from here.
Around from... Yes, I can tell by your speech. So... Every year, a great hunt is held. The most wanted either creatures or persons of the area, the ones that had not yet been slain or caught, are put up for a rather large purse. The king themselves puts this purse up. But it is first to not just retrieve the prize, but return with it. So
While you're saying this, I'm grabbing Flint and like putting him in front of the gnome.
Is something about me offensive to you? You just put someone... we were having a conversation here.
Oh no, he just needs him to listen to this part very carefully.
He's joining the conversation.
Oh, okay. I think I understand. I can tell.
Did I hear something about slaying of large and terrifying beasts? Perchance?
You did.
Either notorious criminals or large and terrifying beasts. It is drawn, well,
If we're lucky,
in
one
secret.
riding the other.
It's entirely possible. We did have that, it was about 8 years ago. That was quite interesting. Troll riders. The stench.
At least he's not riding that way around.
No, they were trolls riding large beasts. It was, you just had to see it. It would never see that thing again. Never want to see that thing again.
Yeah, say if we're lucky, we won't. Well, friend, you've been
That
quite
is
helpful.
beside the point, but
What's your
seek
name?
out the Hunters Guild. Mine? Desmond. As I said, no last names with us jesters.
Desmond, I appreciate it. You may call me Haster.
Haster. I'll remember.
And I'm Carrick. Don't worry, you'll hear about me again.
I'm
Yep.
sure I will.
Yeah.
I'll check the obituaries.
Oh snap!
He's got quite a tongue on him, Carrick.
With that, he, kind of gives a little bit of a smile and then wink over at you, Carrick, and then walks down the gangplank off into the crowds, and looking out for him, can see that he knows this area quite well, moving deftly, and then just seems to disappear into the other workers and crowds.
Well then, anybody up for hunting fearsome beasts?
Oh,
Sure, but first, let's deliver these children one quest at a time.
Yeah, deliver children.
Yeah. Save
Get
the children,
equipment.
kill the trolls.
Make my axe awesome. Kill Big Beastie.
Yeah. So Zangulus, do you think if we find a nice inn of some sort to sit down in and use as a rendezvous point, you can lead them the rest of the way to the orphanage?
Yeah, I think I can get them there.
Good,
Especially
because
if
I
I rent a
would
cart.
like to have a little sit down with that axe and have a look-see over it. Flint, if you wouldn't mind, once we get a nice inn, and maybe like an hour of working with it, I might be able to tell you a little more about it.
Alright, sounds good. I'm down with an inn.
Yeah, and then we can get some ale there.
This is why I'm down with an inn.
So I will exit the boat with my backpack of stuff, mostly books, and look for whatever inn I think nearby might serve our needs as a rendezvous point.
Throw my
All right.
backpack on as well. Just walk off.
As you're walking down the gangplank, you can see a group with blue and gold armor. It is full plate, and the blue is actually worked into the metal to give it that sort of that bluish color with gold trim around it. Those
It's not
from this
painted
area,
on; it's like part of the metal, right?
yeah, it's not painted. This is worked
nice.
into the metal. This is very pristine. And Zangulus and Haster, being from this area, you recognize it, having maybe not always been, the greatest kids.
What? Us? No.
These are more upper echelon of city guard. They all wear blue and gold. Usually it's leathers for the standard patrolman. These ones are
These are like royal
guard
quarter
captains. Yeah, these are captains and lieutenants. These are royal quarter upper guards, and they're approaching directly. Hold it! Before entering the city, we need to have a bit of a debriefing with the rest of you.
Fair enough. What would you like to know?
Not here. We'll use this facility over here. And as they walk towards it and everything else, that you can see some of the jesters working and hanging out front. But as these ones approach and they go, and just give a snap of the fingers and give the thumb, even the jesters that are there kind of sneering at them, just eyes widen a little bit, and they open the door. All right, get out! And you can see 5 or 6 of them leaving the building, and quickly. They are not
This is
messing
looking
around with
promising.
them. 2 of them stand at the outside of the door, and the third one, the tall man there, You can see just a few features. It's very dark-skinned face. Humanoid, though you can't really tell what race. Taller, though. So not dwarf, halfling, or gnome. But he extends a hand to usher you inside and asks, would you please all join?
Well, I've always been a fan of cooperating with city guards.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in
As
your
I-
best
as I walk
interest.
Yeah, I'll follow inside.
I will as well.
I'm just
I-
like, you're all gonna let him
follow
hang
very well.
and just slap his hand and walk in.
He just kind of looks down at you and then slaps you in the back of the head real quick as you go in. Not hard, just a little one like that. What? It's just the greeting of Tem. I assumed that, you know, this was your custom. You're obviously not from around here.
Hey, that. I mean, you're not wrong, but
And as he's doing that, as his hand is extended, he looks over and you can hear it. He's not being quiet about it. You hear him say, Lady Aarathen and Markus, inside, quick.
My first thought is I still don't trust this guy. My second thought is I say it out loud. What have we got ourselves into?
I'm really starting to wonder right now.
Well, if this town is anything like it used to be, we're not nearly so likely to get killed by the town guard for sneezing. So I don't think we have much to worry about.
Which is
These
pretty
are-
promising.
These are good people, and they follow the laws. They only expect the same of us.
And as you're having this conversation inside, you can see now it's just an equipment shed, basically, for the ships. There's ropes and, you know, pieces of wood off to one side, things that could be used to connect for pulleys, to set up makeshift cranes if necessary. It's a bunch of, it's just an equipment room, essentially, with a few boxes scattered here and there throughout the room. The children
Crates
also
and
walk
whatnot.
in between Markus and Aarathen, and with that, the large man steps into the room quickly, closes the door behind him, pulls the helmet off, and now you can see him. He is a very dark-skinned man, shaved head, piercing black eyes, and a very trimmed beard across the face. Very just thin line around the jaw, very well kept. And looking there. Oh, for fuck's sake, we never thought you were going to arrive. What is going on in Caprisi?
Don't worry about Caprisi. It's pretty much not there anymore.
Yeah, it's bugged.
I would.
That's what
worry
our
about
scouts are
Capri.
saying.
It's complicated.
Very complicated.
I'm gonna be.
All right.
I will be frank. What has happened to Caprisi is a mad god has taken over the city and is now currently causing everyone to riot and party and kill each other.
And also,
Oh,
for some
that?
completely unknown reason, the forest has come alive.
Yes,
what?
for a reason we have no idea why. The forest
We have no
The forest.
We
idea.
had nothing to do with.
Hold it! The party was not a concern. Ali Damara does this once every 25 years or so. He brings everyone back to life afterwards. He thinks it's funny. It's
That's
not
actually a
really,
pretty good gag.
He's a twisted one, but we don't worry about it because it doesn't actually cause any lasting effect. It's an illusion, essentially, large scale, but, well, from best we can tell, he's either the Avatar or is a god. Just seems to do this every once in a while. Then disappears. Something about a brother. That's not a concern, but the forest, you say? What do you mean the forest has come alive?
Lady Earthen's wounds were caused by the inverse life of the forest. Sprouts of thick brambles of death grew from the ground and impaled hundreds, if not thousands, of animals, people, carts, horses, wagons, stuck in the trees. A wall of death spikes, essentially, taller than you could reasonably try to climb. You could shoot an arrow over it, but I wouldn't expect to hit anything on the other side because you wouldn't be able to see what's over there anyway. Thick has encircled the city.
It's true, Bartholomew. It's good to see you again. I haven't seen you since you were in the Drunken Mermaid with Markus there. I thought you were trapped within that city. I thought you were working with my parents as a guard to oversee the governorship. But you're here, which is good. Well, you needed a contact in this city to get the children out. The rest of you. Silver, what do you know of it?
You use it as money?
metal?
Or are you talking about the little infector?
You do know of it. Most people wouldn't know anything besides money. The fact that you know that.
Well,
you mean
we also know. Well, I know that it infects people, and it can run away after you kill them.
It'll also stab at you after you kill them, and if you try to loot the bodies. Furthermore, the goop that comes out of those bodies is definitely some kind of magic resistant, because I couldn't magic it off of people who had it all over them when we slaughtered a few of those little bastards that were infected with it.
Well, looks like something's brewing again.
What do you know
What do
about that
you know
stuff?
about it?
Yeah, what will help us deal with it next time? Is there a way to stop it? Destroy it?
Let's just say stay very far away from it.
Well, that's somewhat unsatisfying. We already knew that.
It's kind of hard to do when it comes after you, though.
Listen, I just met the lot of you. There's trust
Yeah,
to
and
be
we
earned
brought
here.
you these children, and we've been protecting Lady Aarathen. We deserve some answers, where you can give them, of course. I know there will be things that we're not meant to know.
For now, I don't know if you'll speak aloud in the wrong places. Learn Tem, speak later.
Where should we
Establish
meet back?
yourselves.
Or will you just find us?
You can find me in the upper districts. It is my post.
Okay, so you're here to meet us. Do you have a plan for these kids?
Of course. The children are all to be ushered to different families throughout the city and others along the coastline. It's how we've been taking care of them.
So you've
How do
been
we
taking
know-
Why? Do you have something
Mother's-
better at this point? Is this compromised?
Yeah, Majordomo Soludil might be a little mad at us and come after us. You see, he branded all of us with these things, which we've got
Fuck!
deactivated.
And with that, he immediately pulls his sword up.
Whoa!
They're turned off.
How's that?
Bookkeeper help.
Oh, yeah.
Are
The
you...
book-
Hold
the
on.
bookkeeper said we're good.
Roll
Are we not
persuasion.
good?
Hey, Marcus has one too.
Where is my persuasion skill? I totally know the alphabet, I swear.
I'm staying out of this. Plus
I
boy.
got
It's
a
fun.
5 because my mask is down.
You got a what?
He's got a five.
Oh no, sorry, I got a 9. I got a 5 on the die because my mask is down. So I got a 9.
19.
You have a 19?
Mm-hmm.
He looks over at you and doesn't trust it, but Marcus oh, well, all right, fine. I don't mind a little blood, but I'm pretty sure that you were going to take his arm off. Don't do it. I was there for when it was deactivated, all right? It's the same as when he shut mine down and you saw it. All right. For now. The Major Domo is on to you, and you lot are here with the children.
He sent us after the children in the first place. under the guise of that we were doing the right thing. Clearly, that was a lie. I don't think any of us really believed he had good intentions for them to begin with. But all the same, he is aware of our existence, and I think the sooner we get disassociated from these children, the better for them.
Aarathen steps forward at that point and looks up at him. She's seems to be hunched over even more now. They did have a good plan, Bartholomew. The Sisters of Pelor, the orphanage, they said they came from there themselves. Pelor can be trusted. We should get them there before... And with that, she collapses down, sweating profusely and just eyes closed, breathing very shallow.
We also need to get Lady Aarathen here some medical attention of the most powerful magic kind you can muster in this town. She's going to die very soon if we don't do something.
The most powerful kind would be in the upper districts. If I take her there, she'll be spotted. If she is, her life is over anyway.
Well, is there anybody who's a little shadier but powerful, and maybe not quite as powerful, that you know of who's a good healer, maybe in the slums somewhere?
The slums
Somebody
are not...
you can bring to us instead of us going to them.
The slums are not under my purview. Hello, bless you.
Bring someone here.
Bring someone here or disguise her somehow.
I can try. We need to move her, though. Do you know of anyone? She mentioned the two of you are from here.
100 years ago, maybe.
100 years?
A little older than I look.
Hey, I can
The only
try,
people
but
I know are some of the traders, the skin traders, fur traders.
Let's take the children to the Sisters of Pelor and take her with us. They are merciful and kind, and may at least be able to stave this off longer until we can find whoever can cure it permanently.
I'm going to head back to the upper district with the ones outside. I'll see if I can find someone. The Sisters of Pelor, you say?
Yes.
Aye.
I think I know of it. I should be able to track you down. At the very least, though, you need to move quickly. I'll have a cart waiting for you outside, and he reaches into his satchel and flips you a coin. And on it, you can see that it's different than a normal gold coin. It actually has the crest, which is a standard shield with an obelisk in the center of it, which is the crest of Tem. And it says City Transport Token on it, which is apparently exchanged either for money or somehow. You don't know how, but he
Whatever.
gave you a
If it
transport
works, it
token
works.
of some kind.
I don't need to know the finer details of the economy here. If this works, it works. Thank you. We'll move with haste.
Right, let's go then. And I hoist
Reaches in.
her over my shoulder.
I don't know if that's the best way to carry her.
Yeah, Markus looks down at you and goes, picks her up off the shoulder and grabs her in the arms here and kind of just cradles her up to stabilize her as flat as he can. Come on, kids, we need to get moving. Yes, all of you do.
Yes,
and
I agree.
with that, walks back out onto the docks. Just stay a ways behind me. And, well, I don't mean it. As he opens the door, walks back out onto the docks, you can hear him shouting at the other two guards, "Those fucking morons! Messing with the Yizgramirians, getting us into all sorts of issues and trouble. Out-of-towners. The fucking lot. Keep an eye on them!"
Well, we've got business to attend to. Sorry for the trouble.
The other guards are walking away that he's just been shouting at. They're all in a group way ahead of you by a ways.
Alrighty.
I'm not sorry.
Well, somebody go flag us down a wagon. We need to get moving.
I have these. I run out as tiny as I am, and I start saying, large party. We are a large party here for help. We need help. We need help. I'm trying to do an accent. I'm doing terrible with it. Intentionally. Yes, I have a cat. You're a cutie. Okay.
As you're saying that, you can see a few people on the docks just kind of looking at you funny as you're walking across the docks.
I just kind of say, screw it. Hey, does anybody here know of a cart of some kind who can use?
Roll in persuasion.
Can hear a cat purring.
Yeah, he is a per box. And now he's trying to grab everything. Okay. All right. 20.
Okay. With that, there's a young lady there dressed in pretty nice robes. They seem to be, not spectacular, but they're definitely not dirtied up. She looks over at you and asking for help. A transport. There are many in the city. Just exit into the city and they should be waiting here by the docks. They'll take you anywhere. It's how we get around, Tim, if it's a long travel.
Thanks for helping
just
my
out that
friend.
way.
He's new.
Yeah.
Never been to Tem before.
It
Does
is
not seem to
quite
be
a spectacular
used to,
sight.
big city.
Oh my, I hope she's all right. And she's looking over at Aarathen.
Yes, nothing's wrong. Carry on.
She's fine.
Thank you,
She has had too much to drink, and
This is why we need transport.
Too much to drink.
All right, let's go get an actual transport.
Roll me a deception check real quick, Carrick.
Let's see. 23.
Okay. Noted.
Grakees will remember that.
All right, well, I'm gonna head towards the city.
As
Into the
you
city.
continue down the docks, which takes you a few minutes to walk down these docks, even at the one berth you're on, it's huge. There are smaller ships all along it, trade vessels mostly, some fishing boats. You start walking up a large set of stairs, and by large, I mean a good 100 steps upwards into these gates that are 40, 50 feet across and 40, 50 feet tall. Large archway, giant wooden doors with huge stone walls all the way across, covering this area, which seems to be both aesthetically set up as well as defensive in case anyone did try to invade by the docks. You can see guards now in those leather armors that you recognize those a little bit more, with the dyed blue and gold leather armors standing along posts up at the top. They don't appear to be the same as it was in Caprisi, where they had this eye like they were ready and willing to shoot anyone on one side or the other. They just seem to be more keeping attention on the general area, with a couple of guards at either side of the door near levers. Don't know what they're for, but they're there manning a couple of large levers. They're outfitted, ready for combat. But as you walk through those doors and into the city, you can now see a large cobblestone court on the other side of the doors. Two massive fountains in the center. They're As you look around, you notice that it isn't made of the stone of the mountains for this. This has been either imported or mined from further in. It's not the primary stone that you can see of the mountain range in a lot of places seem to use here because it's easily accessible. These are marble, a pristine white marble look, and the cobblestone's a nice mix of red and gray. And as you step out, the fountains are just running water nicely. They stand 20 feet tall. And as you look out into the city now, and for the rest of you experiencing this for the first time, it's a sea of buildings. Stretching miles and miles, and then you can't see past them anymore. When you're stepping out, you can see off to your right a large palace butted right up against the mountainside. That is made of a mix of the same bloodstone, which is the black and red, as well as other pieces of this same white marble. Tall buildings sitting around it in sort of a semicircle fashion that is up and elevated, almost so the rest of the city seems to tilt downward, so it has this place of prominence with large ornate walls that are mixed in, and there's almost a pattern, though looking for it, your eye keeps trying to find something, but there isn't really a pattern with other colors of stonework mixed in with the bloodstone across this wall, where everything just speaks to the power of the city, and this being the seat of that power. Looking off to the left now, you can see, sort of, at least from the start of the buildings here, the first few you can catch, these buildings are pristine. Beyond anything you've even seen in some of the nicer areas of other cities. They are above well kept, to the point where it seems like it's almost impossible for a building to look this good. And amongst all of this are throngs of hundreds upon hundreds of people bustling throughout the city streets. Maybe several hundred feet, a couple of football fields, 600 yards ahead of you, beyond this large cobblestone court, you can see a marketplace that is set up between where the buildings are and where the large palatial King's District, as you've now come to learn of it, is, with tents set up. But these aren't the sort of tattered tents you'd think of for a marketplace. It seems like these are designed to be sort of some of the major shops, and despite the fact that it's an open market, it is nice, and from what you can see of it, it's kept well, and the people in this area are dressed very, very well to, at the worst, moderately well. This entire area you've stepped foot in speaks of wealth, speaks of power, and has you just almost stunned by what you're seeing here. There is nothing like it that you ever could have even conceived of put together in this area. And pulling up in front of different people in this cobblestone court now, you can see are the very carts that were spoken of. They are two very large, they're Clydesdales basically. They're the size of what most of you would know as a warhorse. Two large ones to the front, a cart driver sitting inside a sort of, it's an enclosed cart with window slats put throughout it, and as you see people walking up and entering inside, they're handing him a coin and you can, it's not too hard to see, different coins, bronze, silver, or copper, silver, and gold. And then motioning to some, either just themselves or other people behind them. They're being let in, and as it fills up, the carts leave and drive to different locations.
All right.
I'm
gonna look for a cart.
I'm gonna mask back up with all these people around as we're here, so I'm not causing a panic necessarily or pissing anybody off just by existing.
Rather than just running up to the closest cart, I'm going to look for a cart that looks big enough to take our entire group. Since we've got 8 kids and all of us.
A whole
Perception
squad of
check.
children's.
Yeah. And I will flag down the cart that appears to be big enough for us. Hey!
All right. What'd you roll for your perception?
Oh. A lot. 24.
Okay. You're used to the city enough that you didn't get distracted by it.
Yeah.
So, looking along the line of carts, you can see one that's about 4 down to your left that looks like it's big enough. Some of them are smaller. They look like they'd fit 4 or 5 people, and others are large enough to fit, a good chunk. And there's one down there.
All right. I'll go up to that cart then and hey. Wave to the driver.
As you approach, you see kind of a hunched over grizzled old man just kind of sitting there. What do you want?
We need a ride to the other side of the city.
All right, you got your token?
There, I got the token. I'm gonna gesture back to everybody. Come on, quit staring at the buildings. I know it's interesting.
This will give you
Yeah,
access
yeah.
for 15. See, this is one. You're 1 over.
I will walk.
2 over.
Is it 1 over or 2 over?
15. 2. I didn't see the other one sitting in the back. He motions over at Carrick, who just kind of popped his head back up.
Well, can you make a slight exception? The one's going to be carried. She's injured. We need to take her to help.
Markus reaches into his pouch. Yeah, he gave me one too. We might have needed this later, but hands him another gold one. He goes, well, it's overpay, but it'll get you where you need to go. Change? What the hell is change?
Maybe you got a couple of copper ones you can hand back.
You don't know how this works around here, do you? You must be new. You give it to me, you get in, we take you somewhere, you can buy another one at the other side at the station.
Let's go. We need to go.
All right, whatever. How much does it cost for just a one-person's spot? And where do I go buy them?
Need to be at the
You're
transport.
wasting time.
He motions right back there and goes, as other people are now coming up to this cart and starting to line up behind you, he's motioning back there. He goes, well, if you need to get one for yourself, there's...
Sod it. I'll come in on Markus's, and I'll hop in the cart with everybody else.
All right, on board. And as you're getting in there, he's counts out behind him, looks over at the crowd and everything else. 2 more. And with that, a couple of people. We got a 2. Anyone a 2 ones? Yeah. All right, you 2, come on. And you can see a couple of individuals step on board. One is more of a large, bearded, older man wearing just a simple tunic, got a little satchel over his back. The beard is tied off in a couple of points. It just seems to take a spot in the back. And then an older woman hobbled on a cane. She gets on board, and Markus actually gets up and moves the back, allowing her a spot at the front. Oh, thank you. And with that, you hear, the sound of a whip cracking, though you don't actually even see a whip. And with that, the cart takes off, and he looks back at you. All right, you said across city, right?
We're going to the Sisters of Pello orphanage.
Specifically.
Okay. I know the area. We do only go to the stations, but there's one pretty close by over there. Yeah. All right. You 2, where to? The bald-headed man and everything just looks at him and, Where they're going? To the other side of town. It's the slums, right? My cousin's out there. Poor person. Needs some help.
I don't trust them.
And the older woman looking at him, everything. Oh, the first stop here.
What do I roll to try to detect deception?
Insight.
I think this old man is up to something.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an insight check on him.
19.
I keep forgetting that I should be rolling that sometimes.
All right. So, hearing him and watching him get aboard, you look over at him and you start sizing him up and down. And from everything you can see, his story about his cousin was truthful. He's got a little. He seems a little bit grizzled, and like his clothes are pretty simple and straightforward, and nothing you see in his demeanor says anything about what he just said was untrue.
So, friend, what's your name?
Me?
Yeah, we all know each other already. We just, you know how expensive it is to hire a private cart.
Oh, it's copper.
Yeah, well, we're a wee bit broke, so we couldn't hire our own personal carts. You know, you gotta use public transportation. It's the thing to do. It also gets you a chance to meet new people. I'm Hester. What's your name?
Charles. That I be dressed pretty fancy. I'm not
It
used
was
to
a gift.
talking to me.
Carrick is still not buying this guy. He's like, so, Charles, come here often?
No, I'm from down south.
So not a resident of Tem, are you?
No. He's kind of looking at you like he's sitting back, and you can see his face seems to be kind of like weirded out now. He's got a look just where he's kind of looking at you funny.
So,
I was
Charles,
wrong. The big city would be a bit weird.
the city is weird, man. I agree. You got strange bards talking to people on wagons.
Hey,
Guys dressed far too fancy for their surroundings. Strange
Yeah.
place.
Charles, ignore this bugger. He's always probing. First up, I just gotta say that's a fantastic beard. Nice work, my friend. Second,
Thank you.
do you know anywhere where we're going to get some good ale?
Maybe your cousin
I'm new.
told you about his favorite bar in a letter. Do you know your letters?
No.
Man after my own art. Who's got time to read these days, eh?
I had his letter read to me. I'm just here to help him.
What's he need help with? I
Yeah,
could bring you
Charles.
this far into the city.
What is it he needs help with?
Driver, I changed my mind. I'm gonna get off at this stop with her. And as the driver's pulling up to a station now, the older woman is getting off here, and it's basically a large overhang wooden structure that's open air up the front. For all intents and purposes, everyone would know it as essentially what is a bus stop. So, just for the simpleness of the description, it is a wooden bus stop structure.
Sweet.
With that, the cart, pulls up to it and allows her and the man who's grabbing his satchel and kind of looking over at Carrick, a little bit worried, and scrambling off of the cart at this point. It doesn't seem like anyone else is getting on, so it takes off. as you say that, he looks back over at you. He's just like, and then just leaves really quick.
Good job, Carrot.
Can never be careful enough around these parts.
No, you can't.
I was just trying to have a nice conversation with a stranger, and you had to go scare him away.
Hey,
It's Carrick. What do you expect him to do? I mean, he could.
Well, you know, stranger danger.
The last thing I expect Carrick to do is to be nice to somebody.
Yes, and some people are too nice to some people.
Hey, you know what? I just really I just really like to make people feel beautiful, including you.
You keep your beauty to yourself, wee man.
well, if anything, you guys wanted a private cart.
We did.
I didn't complain. I'm just saying that I am not surprised.
Well, driver, how long is it going to take us to get there, do you think?
Depends on how many stops we get flagged down for, but 10, 15 more minutes.
It's enough for a short nap. And I will slink down in my seat and shut my eyes for a moment to think about my insane evening that I just had. I'm basically trying to recall everything I had drawn on the walls and on the floor in my room in that ship before it went down. Also, I'm the only one who got hurt, so I'm just kind of trying to take a little breather.
Anyone else doing anything while the cart continues?
Probably check and see how Lady Aarathen's doing.
I will be right back.
Roll me a medicine check.
All right. Nine.
From what you can tell, she's alive. That's about it. She's
still alive.
Yeah, her breathing is shallow, eyes closed, doesn't seem responsive, and you know from your understanding of medicine that breathing means alive normally.
Breathing equals alive.
I'll just check on the kids, make sure they're all happy and
Well, I don't know how happy they are since
He's
Lady
stressed.
Aarathen is literally passed out.
They seem, looking over at them now, they've been through a lot. They seem haggard, and some of them openly are switching between crying and excitement as they're in this ridiculous scenario of the city, and they don't seem to know how to handle it at this moment, but they're trying. Some of the older ones are kind of holding the younger children and pointing out cool sights. And as you're traveling through the city now, you're traveling along the market road. So it's sort of like a main road that cuts between the quarters and the large palace district. So you're getting a better view of the city now. And now you can tell why they're called the quarters. Because as you're going through, and as it was described to you, you can see that there is a road that extends far beyond what you can even see as you're going past. There's a large open road. And then rows of buildings that just disappear to the south. But you can tell as they go further south and you're catching some of the rooftop looks, the really pristine buildings seem to be up near the palace district. And then you can actually see spots of like it go from tiled slate roofing to wood to thatch. So as you get further from the palace, it seems that is the poorer houses. Though as you're traveling along, you can tell from different things you've experienced within the past, just basic knowledge of the world. You can see buildings in one entire row of this that would be set up with shop signs and possibly taverns there, but also clustered within that, in say one of them, are all the forges. You can see the chimneys for forges, you can smell the sulfur, you can smell the metalworking. As you move further through the city, you can see an area and you see more signs, and some of them have book symbols on them or symbols of wands, but also you can smell alchemical reactions from vents going off through the roofs. You get a little bit further, and there you see, though you would think this would be with the smiths themselves, it seems to be separated out, as here are, you can see people coming out of shops well armored, and then areas set up, at least from the spots you can see that are sort of open, with training ranges. And you can see some of the people on the street, they're a little bit more rough and tumble. And we're talking about, as you go through each section, about a 6-mile expanse of section. So huge roads, rows of buildings, huge roads, and then you get into this even larger gap between each of them that goes for a few hundred feet separating each of these districts. But in this one, you can see the people are a little bit more rough and tumble. Even in the nicer areas, their greeting on the street seems to be walking up to each other with a headbutt. They seem to, yeah, they just seem to walk up to each other. They're laughing. They're coming, almost like, you know, they're jovially drunk, but you don't hear any of the slurring even from them when they're doing that. This area seems to be just where anybody looking for a good fight would be going. And as you finally get to the far outskirts of the city, you can see that the rows of buildings stop after the last roadway here. The large roadway splitting off the quarter for the fighting and the armor and the weaponry and the training areas. The roadway there goes, and then you just see thatch huts. However, with each of those thatch huts now, as you've gotten to the far western side, are large plots of land. And all of these large plots have crops going all around them. So this seems to be pristine land. Zangulus, you knowing the outskirts of the land further, know that this area is about one of the best expanses you can get for growing here, because if you go a bit further west, it's just endless desert wasteland. So this is sort of like the area that's been designated to be able to feed the city, and it goes for miles and miles west and south in order to feed the thousands of people around here. And as you're pulling up here, this appears to be the last of the bus stop type stations, the travel point stations. Well, last stop, you said the far side. And Zangulus, you know that the temples that sort of service the farmers and even some of the fighters that are further out and maybe returning, they're a good, 10-minute walk south. And you can kind of see the larger buildings standing out there. There's a cluster of 3. But you do know that they're relatively close. They're a good 10-minute walk, but they stand out amongst the fields.
Need to get out of those buildings over there as quickly as possible.
Oh.
With that,
Oh, we're there.
Yeah. With that, you can hear the guy, all right, everybody out, got to turn around and go back, get more people. Work's never done.
Right.
The city's busy as fuck.
Jump
You've
out.
been a lovely coach master.
Well, it
rub
didn't
my eyes
crash.
as I hop out. Alrighty.
All right, kids, come on. Lady Aarathen's still taking a bit of a nap, so I just need to carry her to where we're going to be sleeping for the night. You guys know where we're sleeping for the night, right?
Of course we do.
Somewhere nice, warm.
Yeah, I don't know where we're sleeping, but the kids are sleeping somewhere nice. Come on, let's go.
Do.
Alrighty. And despite my... I don't really want to go there, but I'll help them get there. Once we get there, I'm not going in. But as we walk, I'm going to step over to Zangulus. Hey, I don't think I can handle going back in there. Are you going to be okay going in there? I got some weird memories from this place.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, but you're the only one I trust to do this for me, so here's 2 gold pieces. Please donate it to the temple for me.
Thanks.
I don't think anybody else would actually follow through and do that.
Yeah, well, you got a point.
Yeah, the dwarf might, but
The
might,
dwarf might.
he might donate 1 or 5. I don't know what would happen if I tried to give him 2.
Yeah. Or his whole pouch.
And I don't. That's too much. Anyway, I'm gonna. I'll wait outside when we get there.
Actually, if you're going to wait outside, if you could look around, I suppose, for a place that we might be able to stay at, that would work too.
That sounds like a good plan. Once we get there, I'll see what I can find.
All right.
And as we're walking, I'm gonna kind of be glancing about for any kind of tavern type setup or inn or someplace where we might just lay our heads down for the night when the night comes, because it's first thing in the morning when we got to town, right?
Yeah, it's first thing in the morning. Roll me a perception check.
I got a 18.
All right. As you're walking further along, you can see that further down across the roadway and then sort of on the left-hand side, there seems to be a kind of broken and hanging sign, because you're getting into some areas that aren't quite as well kept. The buildings aren't as pristine on these outskirts, but you notice what looks to be a frothing mug of ale, kind of in its shape. You can't really make out the name of the place yet, but it looks like that could be a tavern. It's a good, minute and a half down the road further past now as you're coming up to, and Haster, as you see it, oh yeah, it is the orphanage. It is the Temple of Pelor in this region. It is run as an orphanage, and within it, it's actually, the way it works in here, it's amidst all the farms, kind of pushed out a little bit. There's a dirt roadway. It isn't the nice cobblestone. It's a dirt roadway that goes out, and there are 3 temples in there in the middle of sort of the fields, with the area cut out in a circle around them. They all face each other. So 3 points. The one facing directly to the roadway is the Temple of Pelor, and then the other 2 are the temples of, one of them being, and this is the one that catches your eye because you recognize the style of it. It's the Temple of Seune for this area. And then, because of all of the travels that go on and being on the sea, there is a Temple of Farlane. So Pelor faces back towards the city, with the other 2 sort of facing in towards Pelor and out. They sort of cross each other at this center area. And there is a sort of monument with the symbols of all 3 of them interwoven in the center there. Not as fancy as the fountains, but
it's what they can afford out here.
Yeah.
Fancy for where we're at.
Alrighty, well, there's the Temple of Pelor. You guys have a good time inside. I'm going to go scope out that tavern and see if I can't find us rooms for the evening. And I'm going to excuse myself from the party and just start heading that way. Walking awkwardly and uncomfortably fast.
I'm just going to look at them and nod and be like, I will see you soon. And I just walk towards the temple, saying,
okay.
Figured that would happen.
He's going to go have an orgy inside.
We call it a worship service, okay? You fucking heathen.
My bad. Got my nomenclature all wrong.
Nomenclature.
It's a bad pun.
Yeah.
I get
But
it.
I delivered it so nonchalantly. Come on.
I missed it, so I'm not given disadvantage for that pun. Well done.
Oh. That was that nonchalant. Well, I'll go up to the door, knock.
All right, as you approach and start knocking on the door, a younger woman approaches in the ceremonial white and golden robes with the sun symbol on the center of Pelor, and you hear the door open a crack, and you can see her through there. Standing there, above it, there's the sign saying the Sisters of Pelor, orphanage, essentially, is what it reads out. You know it, Zangulus, and know what it says. How many of you can read Celestial, though?
Can read?
What's reading?
Well, you lost him at can read.
So none of the rest of you. All right. You have no idea what it says. Zangulus knows because he's already been told, but you see this very beautiful, odd script above the door, and no idea what it says, but you do recognize the symbol of Pelor above it, as Pelor is pretty prominent in one of the major gods in any city that you've ever been to. He is worshipped for essentially just being outstanding and good, the god of the sun, and bringing good harvest and health. So Pelor is kind of like one of those central points that everyone goes around. As she opens the door and looks at all of you, yes, may I help? Oh my! So many children, and may I ask what? Yeah, could we get some help? Well, Hello doesn't turn anyone down that's requesting aid. With all the children, you've come to the right place. Please come in. She opens the door the rest of the way.
Before we walk inside, I'm going to take a look around behind us to see if there's any suspicious-looking people that might be looking at us.
All right, roll me a perception.
Blah. It's like 11.
You being wary in the city, take a look around behind you. You take a peek back, and you don't notice anyone standing out. It's just your group out here. You can see some farmers out working in their fields, around a few people, on the streets, entering some of the buildings across the way, maybe a tavern, but most of them are focused on the farm work further out. So you can see farmers there, or groupings of them further out. No one anywhere nearby you that seems to be paying attention that you catch in your eye line or hear.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll walk in as soon as everybody else is in then.
Excuse me. All right. So all of you are entering then, besides Pastor and Flint, correct?
No, Flint's going in, I
Pastor
think.
and Garrett.
Me and Garrett.
Yeah, I'm staying with the kids.
And Carrick is muted.
I've squirreled away.
What's that?
I've squirreled away. I'm not with the party anymore.
Oh, wait. Well, if you said you squirreled away, you had to tell me that. You were saying it while muted. So where did you squirrel away and when?
I'm at the Temple of Farlani.
Okay, you went to the Temple of Farlane. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so Raven, Flint, and Zangulus, you're all there with Markus and the kids?
Yeah.
All right. As you enter into the temple, you can now see, even though it's not, extremely ornate. Mostly it's wood furnishings in here. The wood is well polished wood. It is set up with a really nice stain to it. It's nice light colored woods. So that there's actually a really beautiful look to it. And now you can actually see the way the polish is on the wood. There's a large window both above you as you walk in that you can kind of see it at an angle on the roof that takes in the sun as it goes over from when it's raising up, finally gets up over the city and comes in, as well as on the western side that reflects around this central area and creates a pattern on the floor of the center over the symbol of Pelor that lights up the symbol perfectly by reflecting off the wood. You don't know if it's just simply how they designed it or if there's some magical property about it, but it is stunning. And Zangulus, this is new. This is something that wasn't there before in the main chamber. And as you come in, you recognize a lot of this now. It's really starting to flood back and bring up some memories that are both complicated and a little bit nostalgic, good and bad. It's a pretty hefty mix of emotions for you. It's got you kind of pulled inward and thinking. You haven't been here in a very, very long time, and it was pretty rough considering no parents and not knowing what had occurred and where you had come from. You could see the doorways off to the side that lead off to the side rooms. You can see the back corner doors that go off into the sort of dormitory areas where the children are. That you know that the kitchen is further behind the main area and that the priestesses all stay in rooms off to the left-hand side of the temple. Essentially, as you go in there, you can see the doorways, and that the chambers for the head mother of the priestesses here is in the far back. Those are areas that you were never allowed in, nor were you quite able to sneak into at that point. But as the young priestess there is standing there, I'm Priestess Talana, and just give me a moment. You, sir, the big one. I didn't catch your name. Markus. Yes, you. Quick with me. And hold on. Okay, this is serious. This is necromantic. This isn't normal. With me, we need to take care of this quickly. And Markus just starts following her. The children are standing in the center now. And what before was their faces being a mix of contorted emotion now seem to be at peace. And this place seems to have an effect on them. And Zangulus, you remember the effect of it now that you're seeing it on someone else. That somehow being here gave you a feeling of being at peace until you started to get older and really know more about the world. It seemed to make things simpler in your young mind. And it would have an effect on you that was uneasy as you realized it was having an effect on you, but also comforting.
I think the kids will be all right here.
You see now off in the back corner, you can see the priestess knocking on the door. It opens up and you can see her talking with an older woman back there, and then Markus walks through the door with her. And the door closes behind. Now you're left in the main chamber.
All right. Well, the kids are taken care of. That part of this situation is at least over with. Now we need to worry about us.
Should we try to find Haster, wherever he went?
Yeah, we saw the direction he walked over to, so I say as soon as Markus gets out of there, hopefully Lady Aarathen's going to be in much better shape and will at least be close by to the kids and to her.
What are you doing at this time?
So I'm just hanging out, seeing what's going on. I need to find a blacksmith. Also, we need to figure out this axe as well. What are you doing, Hester?
I'm going to find us an inn.
Okay,
Or a tavern or a drinking hole somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm going with Hester.
Okay, from earlier, you heard the words tavern, inn. You followed Haster, then. You weren't at the temple. That's what I was trying to drag out of you, because I didn't hear what you said you went.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm with Hester.
All right. So with that, we're cutting over to Garrett, who is walking up now to the Temple of Seune. And you see the red rose symbol on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Scrawled across it. The doors are closed, but as you typically know from your temples, they're open to anyone at most times.
All right. I'll push myself in. Push my way in. Push open the door. Walk in.
As you walk up to the doors and push your way in, you can see inside here now the beautiful satin and, cotton has been mixed in. They don't have the perfect tapestries and drapery cloths to make sort of a, well, think old Roman sort of chambers with the cloth just hanging around the center as it creates. Yeah, it's draped down over it. You kind of have to push your way through all of this cloth. Incense is burning on a stand as offerings of different items of vanity, actually, for the most part. Mirrors and brushes and ointments and salves have been placed upon the dais off at the back wall. You know pretty well from the temples, they're all mostly set up the same. There's going to be an area that is a service room with large pillowed bed type situation set up that's almost a room in size, and that the priests and priestesses will be off in chambers somewhere. But as you enter in, you go through the cloths into the central area and you see the symbol cut into gold of Seune. There is no one in the chambers in the central chamber at the moment.
Okay. Well, I go to the altar, and I sit down, and I attempt to meditate and cleanse myself, and make myself feel beautiful.
Okay.
It's the first time I've seen a temple in like weeks, right?
Longer
How long has
than that.
Have we been out there? Huh? Shorter
Longer
than that?
because no, a lot longer than that because of your time out with Flint to the south in the swamps. It's been months.
So I'm just gonna sit in the temple and meditate for a while.
Roll me a percentage roll.
Percentage.
Yeah. Sorry, my cat's being cat.
There's no need to apologize for a cat being a cat.
Being a cat. It's his tail.
They act
agree.
according to their nature.
Cat tail.
Cat tail.
80%. You normally roll
80%?
D10 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you roll 2.
So 88%, or 80 and 8 and 8.
Okay, 88. That was an 88 on the roll. All right, got it.
No, bad. Sorry.
As you're meditating, a cat comes in and starts brushing up against and through your legs.
Oh,
Come here.
Hops into your lap. Though you're focused very well, you can feel it trying to get attention in some way. And we'll cut over to Carrick. Carrick, you're going to the Temple of Farlane. The symbol for Farlane, actually, I have to look that one up.
I actually very specifically snuck away so nobody saw where I went.
All right, roll a stealth roll for me.
Well, it's high, because that's a 19, plus whatever modifier I have. 23.
And you've somehow
All right. Yeah, I
wiped out
broke
the
that
cameras.
I fixed them. They should be okay now. They good? Yes. Okay. Trying to
Yeah,
get
we
my
had a view of
drive
your
up.
Google Drive for a second.
Yeah, I know. But you didn't get to see all the files. I have to actually look up this temple. Where is he? Come on. There we go.
Do we get to roll and see if we notice Carrick leave?
Okay, got it. None of you seem to be looking for him. You were paying attention to the temple, and you didn't say you were looking for watching Carrick to leave.
right.
So,
He beat our passive perception by a great deal.
yeah, basically, I was using your passive perceptions. That's what I was
Oh,
also
okay.
looking up, just to see if he snuck away without making any obvious noise. So, you come up and you see a painted disc in purples with a line drawn through it, which represents the horizon with gold leafing. So, as you walk up to the temple, you approach, and it's set up very much like the other temples. Each of them have their own style to the outside. This one has a more curved line, natural feel to it. Seune is...
What's the cap? It all goes pshh, and turns it to tea colored.
What was that?
We have been invaded.
Yeah.
by a
E-color
lady folk.
what?
Voice of Farland.
My wife doesn't understand how microphones work.
Oh. I was confused. I'm like, did I get an audio in? All right. Anyway, back to the talking about the temples. You walk up to the doors, and what are you doing? No one seemed to notice that you snuck away.
I entered a temple.
Okay. As you enter into the Temple of Farlane, you can see that it's set up as a very large, wide open space. And in the center is a golden symbol of Farlane. The same disc, which has been painted purple along the outsides, but it is definitely made of gold, as the offerings and the symbols of the gods typically are. No matter how poor the temple, they find a way to at least make the central item out of the gold. You can see the offerings here in the center of different items such as ships, carriages, grains, and Farlane, as you know, just from the general knowledge of gods, is typically for if you want to travel somewhere, you would pray to Farlane. If you want some sort of help with sea or land and things to go right as you're moving across the lands in the world. But you look around and you can see it's the way it's set up in here. There are 4 pillars. One that's been made into sort of a bluish white color. Another that is a deep, rich, vibrant green. Another that is of a tan and brown. And then another that is of sort of the black and red of this region. And you know that kind of attempts to represent the 4 directions, and the way the pillars are set up are north, south, east, and west. And they represent something in the coloring of the way the land is set up in the continent as people understand it.
I go up to the altar, and I place one of my rations on it.
All right, go ahead and mark a ration off.
Yep.
Roll me a percentage roll as well.
It's not a percentage die.
1,200%. Wait, what?
55.
Say that again. I don't think he heard you.
55.
Okay, noted.
Is there any personnel around?
Not that you can see. Roll me a perception, though, just in case.
$11.
You don't hear anyone or notice anyone around the temple at this moment. It's empty. And as you were looking around outside, you saw people were out at the farms working. The sun had just come up, so it's not likely that temple services are going on at this point in the day. And roll me a religion check.
Religion. This one. 9.
Okay. With Farlane, you're not certain where you might find a priest of Farlane at this hour. You know generally that they could be anywhere, especially because it is a god of travel, and they may or may not even be in the temple at this time.
I bow quickly and just go, "May the seas be calm," and I leave, and go back to the Temple of Pelor.
All right, so Haster and Flint. Haster, you're a little bit ahead because you took off before reaching the dirt road. Flint, you walked up a little bit and then went, Al, and then turned around, and so you're a little bit behind. As you're walking forward, closer to that sign that you saw that had the foaming mug on it, you can see it now in more detail. It's actually a bed with a mug over it and a plate of food off to the side. Pretty much signifies
exactly
food and
what
rest
we're after.
here. And you can see now, looking up at the sign, that where it's hanging, there was never an anchor point on part of that sign. And
So it's intentionally dangling sideways-ish.
As you look at the name of the place, it is the Broken Sign Inn. So they purposely have the broken sign as part of...
It's their theme.
Yeah. It's
I like
a
theme
part
inns.
of the theme.
Alrighty, I will. Do I notice that my short-legged friend behind me?
He's not attempting to hide himself, so you can see him. He's just a few short steps behind you.
All right, I will slow until we're walking abreast each other. Flint, would you like to make a bit of a spectacle of yourself as we enter this inn?
Spectacle? How come? Not me attempting to keep quiet.
Not in a bad way. Just a little pizzazz as you open the door. And then we'll sort out rooms for our group. All I need you to do is open the door with a little bit of vigor. Don't smash it off the hinges or anything like that. Just boldly step through.
Bold I can do.
Or maybe order an ale right when you get in, and I'll do the other talking. I just want them to know that we're, serious about our business that we need to do with them. In a friendly way, mind you. We'll pay.
Aye.
How much coin have you got, by the way?
This much.
Can I heft the bag for a moment to see?
I suppose.
All right, I will try to guesstimate how much coin is in there by weight.
Roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, I'm good at that. unless I roll badly. So I got a 12 total, which actually is a decent roll.
What? Hold on. I'm gonna whisper check something with you, which means I'm gonna send you a message on Discord.
All right, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Cat Friend.
So cute.
He just doesn't care either.
DM whispers.
I've got one like that somewhere.
He's insistent that I pet him right now, so.
Checking the bag and weighing it out. You're somewhat familiar with the weight of the coin of the region and everything else. You figure he has about 60 gold or so.
Okay, good. More than me. All right, I'll hand it back to him. Well, you mightn't paying for our rooms up front. I'll make sure they don't rip us off. But I think Raven's got the party funds, right?
I think so. As long as I've got enough left to get this axe sorted later.
And that's the other thing we need to have a look-see at. If that axe is magical, we don't want just any schmuck helping you get it sorted, right?
Aye.
Yeah.
True craftsman we need.
Yes, we do. Anyway, whenever you're ready to open the door, we'll go in, get you an ale, and then I'll talk to them about getting the room sorted.
All right. I go.
All right.
I push the doors open.
And I
Roll me a strength
prestidigitate
check.
sparks to fly behind him as he pushes the door open.
Nat 20.
Ooh, wow. That's fantastic.
The door flies off its hinges.
Yeah.
Rip door. Rip door.
Going for gusto on it, you didn't quite measure your own strength exactly right. And the door being set up also to be a part of this theme of broken sign, you didn't realize, but it was set to be loose a little bit to add an extra squeak, and because of that loose piece on the doorway, as you go and fling it open, the piece comes off the hinge and it rips out the second one, tearing a chunk out of the door frame as the door flies into the room off the hinges, and you're standing there all proud, and sparks go off behind you, little sparkles in the air.
Hey up, mateys! I can pay for that.
I want to walk in behind him and place my hand on his shoulder and be like, he can pay for that. And some ale. And my goodness, man, I said open the door with gusto, not tear it off the hinges.
As you were saying this, you look in, and the tavern is empty. Completely empty at this point, save but one crusty-looking old bartender, wiry gray beard, human man, balding up top with his hair combed over, the beard unkempt, just looks over at all of you. What in the hell are you doing?
I'm doing gusto, don't you know?
So he's a little overstrung because he hasn't had any drink yet today. Apparently.
Yeah, you're paying for that.
Yes. And also, we would like to pay for room and board for 6 or possibly 8 people. I don't know if 2 of our party will be joining us.
There's a difference between 6 and 8. Each
Can
room
we just
only
hold-
fits 2.
How many rooms have you got?
Got 5.
How much is it for a room for a week, let's say?
Well, a week, and gonna have to put some extra down because don't necessarily trust that you're gonna keep all the furniture intact.
Just one room will have the dwarf in it, mind you. The rest of my friends are... Okay, well, so 2 rooms will have people who might break things.
Not convincing me very well, so with the extra
I don't want to
amounts-
lie to you, friend. I
week.
would like a fair price.
That for enough rooms for 8, we'll say, because don't know how to count.
Consider it the lot. We'll just take all 5.
All 5. All right, so plus, with food, you do get a meal. Not gonna turn that
lovely.
down on you. Must not be from around here. 50 gold for the week, whole lot.
50 gold?
That's
Up front.
That sounds like a lot of numbers.
That is a fair bit. Do we get ale too? With our 50
Meal.
gold deposit?
I didn't say drink. Meal. Unless you want water.
That includes the cost of that door, right? To get it repaired this time?
No, the door's gonna cost you extra.
In a rare bit of intelligence, hey, Asta, last time we booked something for a week, we were there for a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turns
out we were.
I think planning ahead is probably bad for us.
Yeah. Well, how much is the door and 4 rooms for 1 night then?
He gets up from behind the bar. You can see him now because he was kind of leaned over. He's actually pretty muscled and bronzed. You can tell he hasn't always worked in the tavern. He probably worked or still works in the fields themselves. Calloused hands, gets over to the door, looks at it. Damage there. That frame's gonna need pieces. It's gonna be another 5 gold just to fix the damn damages.
That seems like quite a bit. Throw in an ale for each of us. We'll be happy for the 5 gold for the door to pay a workman to come fix it.
Roll a
How strong is
persuasion
this?
with disadvantage.
Oh wow, they're both terrible. I got an 8.
He looks over at you. It's 5 gold for the door, that you're paying me, or I call the guards. No ale, and 55 for the rooms.
Well, are there any other inns in the area?
You're obviously too busy for us here, looking around at the empty room. So I guess our gold's not good enough for you.
Well, the 5 is good enough. That part we do need to pay. Yeah, Flint, we'll get it paid back out of the party funds if you wouldn't mind handing me that purse to count these out for you. I will snatch his purse and count out 5 gold pieces, hopefully that are actually capable of being found inside.
Takes them from you, puts them in the pocket. Yeah, there are plenty other taverns in town.
Anyone
Plenty.
you wish to inflict my friend on.
No, I like most of the other tavern owners. We get together.
Well, it's a roll of the dice. Who's the unlucky one then? You certainly aren't getting our business. Have a good one.
Yeah, quite certainly. And as he goes back behind the bar, roll me a perception check.
I got a 14.
I got a... Where's my numbers? 14.
Okay. He's not being subtle about what he's doing. You can see him taking a quill to a piece of parchment, write something down, say something into the parchment, roll it up, toss it into the air, and it goes poof. Aster, you
You've upset the
definitely
guild.
know.
Just get us blacklisted from every inn in town.
No, definitely not. Only the low quality ones this guy's involved with.
You didn't even have Carrot with you.
That's impressive. Without Carrick's not even there, and we got blacklisted from something. I mean, we've gotten blacklisted from places when Carrick wasn't even like playing during the game, and he was still responsible for it.
Just gonna give the guy a dirty look and walk out. Your loss, mate. Adventurers end up rich sooner or later.
Sure they do. Sure they do. Right at the bottom of a 6-foot hole.
Alrighty. Well, when we step outside, Flint, I said not to rip the door off.
Well, it's not my fault the thing were loose.
You're right. It's not your fault the thing was loose. That almost went great.
I believe you rolled a 20
The
then.
theme is not that it's broken down.
Yeah.
That guy ripped us off too, by the way. There's no way it costs 5 gold to repair that shitty door. It's not worth having the guards called. Anyway, let's go find a more fair tavern, one who is not going to have a shady owner.
Roll me an intelligence check real quick as well. Or a wisdom check, sorry.
Oh. That dice went off the table anyway. I got a 7 plus my 1 wisdom bonus, so 8.
Where's my wisdom?
Oh,
12.
From what you can tell, even though you're saying he ripped you off, inside you're like, no, that was probably actually under cost.
Yeah,
he was being
probably
nice.
thrashed that door well out of the frame too.
Yeah, so inside you've got this sense that he was actually being nice.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Well, let's go find another place to get something to drink and a place to stay.
Zangulus and Raven, you both decided to leave the Temple of Pelor, yes?
I was waiting for Markus.
Oh, you're waiting inside for Markus? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Carrick, you exit the Temple of Farlane, you go over to the Temple of Pelor, and you can see in the main chamber Zangulus and Raven waiting there. The children kind of standing around, and as you're entering, you can see a couple of priestesses now come out from the side room to the left. And you're seeing the same temple that I described earlier for the first time now, with the sun being lit up from all angles from the windows above. A couple of priestesses come out, and they're dressed in the same pretty nice robes, but they're made of cotton, so it's nothing overly fancy, but they're designed quite well. They come over to the children, and you can see them ushering up to them. And would you like something to eat, children? Oh yes, please. It would be nice. And you can hear all the kids chime. Yes, food. Just this way. Are you gonna do anything, or are you going with them?
I'll go with them. Sure, we can use a bite as well.
I run up and yeah, food. That sounds great.
They look back over you. Well, we're helping the children. Come along. It's we do have a small dining area in the back. We can prepare you something. We do try to do what we can around here.
Ooh, I hope there will be potatoes.
So we do, in fact, have some potatoes. They're a pretty regular crop. So I do believe that Pelor will grant your wish of potato. And they take you into the back corner room off to the right. And as you step in there, you can see the kitchen. And Zangulus, you remember all of this. This is the dining hall off in the back corner. Simple tables, and you can see platters set out made of, basic steel, or it's just basic steel platters, wooden utensils, and cups. And the sisters go and seat all the children around some of the smaller tables. And they offer you a spot at one of the tables, but it's a little uncomfortable sitting there because all of them are set more for children. So even though you're, a bit larger now, you're still elves, so you're a little lithe, but it's a little cramped sitting down at the table, so you kind of have to work your way in. It's like sitting in an elementary school desk as an adult. But you're able to do it. And you can see them go back into the kitchen, and you can now smell the cooking of, chicken and the potato and some basic vegetables. Nothing fancy, but they've begun prepping a meal for everyone there. One of the two of them comes back out with water in a large container and pours all of you small glasses of water.
Thank you, sisters.
Quite welcome, and they head back into the kitchen. So the three of you are around one table, the children are off in the other corner, and they're just kind of sitting there all talking to each other. You can hear them, excitedly mumbling and everything. Well, we get to eat. The city is so pretty, and they're just chattering amongst themselves.
Well, I hope Haster and Flint are doing well finding us a place for the night.
I'm sure they'll do fine. Haster really has a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, doubt there'll be any problem whatsoever.
He'll keep Flint in line.
There's no way you can fuck up finding an inn.
Yeah. Why is that so hard? You just look for an inn and you go in.
Exactly, that's why it's called inn.
Yeah.
Just go in.
Disadvantage for that pun. I
Dude, I would
caught
love
that.
to see an inn named Go. The Go Inn.
It's a good name for an inn, though.
It's a good name.
So much disadvantage. Much wow.
Meanwhile, I'll be looking for a place that'll be more accepting of shenanigans.
Zangulus, roll me a history check real quick.
Seven.
It was a really low DC because you know the stop quite well. There is, in fact, at the far outside west of the city, before you end up out into the lake that's to the west of the main capital, Tem, of the Kingdom of Tem, before you go into the hills, which is where you're from, there is, in fact, because I'm the DM and I'm allowed to make puns, the Go Inn. Disadvantage to all of you for stealing my jokes.
You already had that planned.
Wow.
It's a good, like you said, it's a good name for an inn. Fantastic.
Groan.
I'm the DM. I'm allowed to make puns.
You just have to have sneaky puns. Like I snuck one by him earlier that he didn't even.
You did.
You know,
It was so bad. We need a wall of Kappa in chat right now. We just need a wall of
Kappas.
Kappa.
Drop the kappas. All of the kappas.
Chat doesn't exist.
Aw. Poor Nala, you don't exist.
Chad doesn't exist.
oh my goodness.
All right.
Well,
so back to you
is there
in
anything-
the temple.
I was gonna ask if there's any other places within like easy viewing distance where I might.
Not that you
find us
spotted
lodging.
earlier.
Okay.
And so you're out on the streets now, kind of starting to wander, looking around.
Either investigation or history to try to remember what I know might be an inn or hunt one down.
Are you trying to hunt one down or try to remember?
First, I'll sit and try to remember for a moment, and then I'll do the other.
Roll me history.
All right. I got a 20 total.
Okay, a 20 total. You sit and think, and you remember there is a place where you snuck your first drink. And it's a bit further into the slums of the combat area in the training district. So, you know, it's a good mile to the south and half a mile to the east. But that you can remember that one pretty vividly, and they let a kid have a drink, so it's not exactly, you know, reputable.
They're probably okay with the rough and tumble type then. So, Flint, you want to go for a little bit of a walk to the place where I had my first drink?
That sounds like a fun bit of history.
Aye. And if we get lucky, I'll walk by the first place I got in a fist fight.
That sounds an even better piece of history.
I got my ass kicked. Over a piece of bread, of all things, if you would imagine. Anyway. Well, then I learned to hide the bread. Well, I guess before we go, would you mind popping in and telling our friends in the Temple of Pelor that they should just hang out there until we go find our inn, and we'll come back and get them.
Great.
So we're gonna go for a wee bit of a walk.
Sounds good to me, matey.
Thanks. And as we walk back to the temple, I will take a seat on the steps and not go inside.
Okay.
So,
Flint, you step in to the temple now, where Haster's led you, and you can see as well the same description with the amazing construction with the bleached and brightly polished light-colored woods, creating that sun symbol and lighting it up in the center, matching it perfectly what has been painted there. You step in and roll me a perception.
14.
Okay. You can kind of hear commotion to some degree coming from the back corner area in the temple. It sounds like chatter going on, and you can hear some dishes clattering. Other than that, that's the only thing you really notice and hear. You look around, you don't see Raven or Zangulus, who had gone in earlier.
Okay, well, as it's the only thing I can detect, I'll go investigate the clattering.
All right. As you go to the back and open the door to this area, you look in, and now you do, in fact, you see Carrick as well. So you see Carrick and Raven, Zangulus there, and all of the children off to one side, and you immediately can smell all the food being cooked. The potatoes, carrots, cabbage, and chicken. Maybe rabbit mixed in there as well.
That smells good. Oh, I investigate closer. Is anybody in there that I can see?
You could see Carrick and Zangulus, Raven, and then all of the children are in the room as well. Those are the ones you could see.
So guys, so apparently Asta's telling it. Well, we had a bit of a incident. I mean, it's no biggie, no big deal. I may have broken the door or something. It was already loose. It was already loose.
Couldn't you pay to fix it though?
Oh, yeah, no, we're done. We paid. It's all good. It's all good.
So we're going there then.
Not so much. Yeah, Asta had a bit of a discussion with this gentleman, and he was going to charge us a lot of monies, like all the monies. And Asta said it was a bad deal, so we're not going to stay there. But we're going to go find this other place, this first place he ever had a drink. Should be good. But it's a bit of a walk. But first, I smell some tasty food coming. Is that for us? A chance?
Well, it's for us.
You see one of the sisters poke her head out through like the counter area between the kitchen and this dining cell. We could say it one more. There's plenty back here. We are in the midst of the farmlands. Have a seat. If you help the children, you're good with us.
Well, there's actually two of us. I'll go see if he wants to come in and get some food. But otherwise, we're gonna go for a finder somewhere a bit further afield, so we might be gone some time. Just to let you guys know.
All right.
I'll go see if he'll come in and have some food because I'm starving. So I'll head out and go see Asta. Asta, I know you said we're going for a long walk, but they're cooking up something that smells right lovely in there.
Oh. Fine. Yeah, fine. Okay, I'll come in and have a snack.
Okay, we can eat.
Or just you can eat. I'll come in and sit down. And I'm gonna like really make sure my mask is like thoroughly fucking attached.
What?
And before I come in, I'm gonna like pull my sleeves to cover like as much extra of my hands as I can, and like my hood down to like I want as little of myself exposed as I come in. I really don't want anyone to recognize me or like remember me or even be here. But I don't want to lose track of my party in this huge city either.
Roll a stealth check.
Oh my goodness gracious me! It's about time. I got a nat 20, so 22.
Oh. All right, you're able to fully like cover yourself. You've got your hood down, and there's just this thin, narrow slit. Flint, you look at him as he pulls his clothing together, and he seems to disappear within, and shadows almost seem to raise up from inside, masking the rest of his skin, and bleed out from his cloak. So there's wisps of shadow coming out and forming around him to some degree now.
I stopped him as going. I said, Asta, is there something you need to tell me about this place? Because you seem pretty reluctant.
No, I don't need to tell you. They are truly the best and most good people you could ever encounter. And I am not really worthy to be around them anymore. But let's go in and have something to eat. And I'll gesture toward the door and start walking up toward going inside.
Well, I can understand not feeling like you're worthy to be somewhere anymore. All right, let's head in. I'll say no more.
Yeah. Thank you, friend.
All right. As you enter the back room, now you see everyone but Garrett. Garrett, what are you doing at this moment? You were meditating before. Are you continuing to, or
do I feel refreshed and beautiful?
It's been long enough you feel a little bit refreshed. You've had enough time for what would be a short rest worth of time.
I continue to meditate.
Okay. So, in the Temple of Pelor then, you see everyone but Garrett at this point.
No one cares. Everyone's really...
You're all gathered around a table. For everyone, and even for Flint, because you're a bit taller for a dwarf, you cram into these little bit smaller table settings, but you could fit in. And you're sitting around the table now, and the meal starts to come out and be prepared.
Just the potatoes.
Okay. As they bring the food out in large containers, they're focused on the kids first. They dish out to them. They come over to your table, and one of them sets it down and starts to dish to you. The other one walking up looks directly at you, Haster. Not even saying anything, just starts shaking, drops the pot, points, and goes, and can't even speak, and their finger is just shaking right now.
Sister, it's... I don't want... I'm back.
Back.
What did you do?
And she turns to the other one. Demonic. And the other one turns now.
No, sister, I grew up here.
The shadows. The shadows. Hello?
Yeah, that's... I don't... They're not gonna do anything, sister. They're contained within me.
Uh-oh.
Not really.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage.
This is when you need your 20.
Good old disadvantage went from an 18 to a 7.
Okay. Need this.
I'll stand up and interject as well. Say, hey, priestesses, don't worry. He's all right. He's a bit ugly, but he's all right. He helped us save these kids. We couldn't have done it without him.
Okay. You see one of them clutch the symbol of Pelor now. And a light begins to glow with them. They focus on you, and you can feel some sort of energy surrounding you. Then the rest of you notice the same energy surrounding you as they focus on it. And then nothing. You don't feel an effect on you, and immediately, it's okay, sister. No evil is here. Apparently, someone wishes to disguise themselves, but it isn't a demon. You should know better than to come into a temple of Pelor covered in shadow.
I didn't want to come in here in the first place.
Then you may leave.
Friends, I will wait for you outside.
Yeah, do you want to take this axe?
One second,
while you're,
Hold on. My voice meter went all static.
Oh.
Yeah, do you want to go have a look at this axe outside while you're waiting?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I pass.
I'll go take the axe, and I'm going to carry it upside down to symbolize that I don't know how to use this thing, and I mean nobody any harm except possibly my own feet.
Okay.
Sisters,
Right.
as always, your mercy is legendary.
Just... You don't want to be here now, but you are welcome back. Just don't bring the shadows in again.
I cannot separate myself from them.
Maybe someday. Pelor's blessing be with you. As you walk out. Roll me a percentile.
97.
All right, good to know.
And I will go sit on the steps, or just off the steps, rather, so that I'm not touching any portion of what is actually constituting the entire temple.
Okay.
And I will sit with this axe and inspectificate it to my whatever level of magical inspectification I can do on it.
Do you have any
is that
identify
a technical
spells?
term, or is that, you know?
It's a D&D level bushism, actually.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of identify spell?
No. But
All right,
if you sit with one for a short rest, you can at least tell if it's magic.
Yeah, roll me an arcane check. Or arcana check.
Yeah. Oh, not great. 10.
having looked at it before and having already noticed the symbols on it and having it been identified previously as having an aura of magic, oh yeah, it's magic. What type of magic? You have no idea. You're going to need to get this thing identified, but yeah, it's magic.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'm just going to hang out outside till my party joins me.
You're hanging out outside. Rest of you, what are you doing?
I'm eating.
Yeah, eating food.
I'm eating hard.
It's not the largest of meals that you've had, especially because of the luxury accommodations you've recently been used to. It's a pretty simple meal, but it's actually quite tasty, and seems to be that, you know, the priestesses really put some love into this, and they really do seem to care about those around them in this area. Zangulus, you remember it, that there isn't anything sort of strict or nasty going on here, that they really do put themselves into everything that they have while still trying to follow a very specific path for Pelor. At that moment, while you're sitting there eating, the door opens up, and I've just shut it. Okay. The door opens up with a loud swing and a slam. Boom! You can see the large form of Markus standing there. Aarathen! Quick! And you can see he's covered in blood. Is got tears running down his face. And just looks beyond exhausted, gaunt and drained, even though he has such a large form.
I'll jump up and run to him. What? What is it, Markus?
Just the other room. Go.
Go to the other room?
As you walk in there, you've gotten up from the table. Now you walk in there, you can see the older priestess you saw before that appears to... her robes are a little bit more golden color. They seem to imply a larger status within the temple. Aarathen's now propped up there, and you can see this vial next to her that has collected this grayish colored liquid. But she is awake, and where her wound was is no longer that gray coloring that was pointed out to you before. She looks over and is breathing heavily, sweating heavily. The older priestess is asleep in a chair in the corner. Appears to be completely just unconscious. And Aarathen sitting there. Well, I've been told I'm not moving for many months, but whatever it was extracted. It's not good, though. The land there, whatever happened, it's death. The land itself is death.
Well, it's good to hear that you're okay at least, or at least okay enough that you will heal. The land's in that bad of shape, huh?
Apparently. She was muttering something about not since the rending.
Not since the rending.
Don't know what it means yet. She passed out after drawing this out of me, but something is happening.
Very curious. Well, was there anything else? Did she say anything else before she passed out?
Told me I needed to rest for several months, not to leave the bed. They would take care of me here, plus I would be near the children.
Yes, on the bright side, the children will be safe, you'll be safe. Alright. Well, you get your rest. You obviously look like you're gonna need it.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for everything you did for them.
Indeed.
We'll be here for some time.
I'll take the 2 gold that Pastor gave me and give it to her and say, this is for the sisters when she awakes.
I'm sure they will appreciate it. This is quite kind. I think I need to rest now, though.
Yes, rest.
This is going to hurt for some time.
And I'll go back out and head over to Markus.
All right. Markus is standing there sweating. She... that robed lady, she's, knew what she was doing. It got messy.
Yeah, sure looks like it.
Aarathen doing all right. I'm surprised you didn't hear it. She was screaming pretty loud.
They must have been doing a good job of keeping it quiet then. The good news is she'll live. The bad news is we're going to be here a very long time.
What?
She said that she's going to be bedridden for at least a few months. And I believe
that.
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure.
Long time. You know what?
Yeah.
Kids are good. Sister there said I could keep an eye on the place and I'd have food and a bed. You know what? Tavern's fucked, so not going back to Caprisi. Got the kids out.
Yeah.
As good a place as any.
I'm sure they'll appreciate the help.
Yeah. Okay. And he just kind of turns around and walks away. Doesn't really know what to say at this point. You just kind of see him slumped over a little bit. Just really internalizing everything that's happened up till now.
We'll head back over to our little group. She'll live, at least.
Well, that's good. She better?
No. She's going to be here a while. A very, very long while.
That's bad.
Well, there's worse places to be.
Yeah. At least she'll be safe and the kids will be safe. And that was our main priority in this whole little adventure.
I feel that's mission accomplished.
Yeah.
So now we just got to see about hunting giant beasts.
Yeah. We do need to see about hunting giants, don't we?
The Great Hunt seems like a worthy mission for me. Might find myself a glorious death.
Well, I'm hoping the beasts are the ones that find a glorious death, personally.
I do not hope that. I hope they prove themselves worthy to take me down. And finally I may find peace.
And I'll be next to you singing about your death, dwarf.
I regale the world with tales of my heroism.
Heroism, sure.
You're assuming Carrick's going to live longer than you are.
Aye, given history, that's probably a bad assumption. He tends to fall over at the sight of anything mean.
I kind of expect he's gonna die in jail, but you know.
As your table banter is going on, I am looking something up because something's going to happen.
Oh.
Spoiler.
Keep your table banter going.
I plan to die the most glorious of deaths. Which I will come up with at some point. What that actually is.
I think he'll be choking on rotten bread in the dungeon. The most glorious death.
I've been to many dungeons. The bread has mostly been fine.
but one day.
We'll
That's
make
true.
sure
You
it
probably
happens.
built up an immunity to mold at this point.
Probably. That's why the bread is fine.
Yeah.
Either way, we need to find Garrett. We need to reconvene. Figure out where we're gonna stay.
Where is the little man? I expected him to be
Probably
here.
just stooping a whole temple by now.
Oh God.
Is Haster still outside?
Yeah.
He should
He's
be,
like-
unless he's run off with my axe.
I'm
No,
gonna-
I'm still
Alright.
sitting outside.
So
I'm gonna
as you're
abscond with a plate of food and bring it to him.
sitting outside, Haster, and Raven, you're just getting up from the table at this point. Haster, you hear this voice in the back of your head.
Pelor, not the one you should be talking to. Pelor isn't with you. I am.
Oh, I'm well aware. That's why I didn't want to go in there.
And now I think I need to remind you of why you're with me.
You
What
can
you teach
feel
me?
that similar feeling coming over you from when you were in the first caves below, when your mind and body got taken over. You feel that starting to creep up through your head again. And all of a sudden, you notice the shadows that you had brought around yourself to try and help hide because your cloak didn't do it fully bleed to the ground underneath you, open into this swirling pool of darkness. And faster than you can even really blink or motion about it, you're pulled into a hole in the ground. You look around and it's darkness for a second, but then lighting up. In the middle of the air around you are small green flames floating there. Then red, blue, white, and then this odd shimmering right in the middle of them, so you can kind of catch it from certain angles, and outlined is a flame that you can tell by its shape and movement. It's fire, but it's black. Completely circling around you. On the floor now, drawn out in a circle, are the symbols that you had been playing with and working on, that you had chalked out on the ship.
Did you think you thought of those on your own? I influence all your decisions. Everything you think, everything you do has my fingerprints on it. You will learn, and my eyes will be kept on you. Unless you wish to die at this moment, step into the circle. Aster.
I will step into the circle.
Wise choice.
Good.
Teach
And
me
you can
hidden
see
secrets.
eyes lighting up. Now, kind of moving back and forth. 2, 4, 6, now 8. Pairs of 2, moving near each other, but no form, no direct head. You can't really make it out.
Yes, Aster. I think you've been trying to exercise your will just a bit too much. With that, I've given you a little friend.
You can feel the lines now starting to move up your body as you look down, and the magical symbols that you had sketched out before have come to life, started to shift and move up past your robes. You can feel them across your skin now. They start wrapping around your arms and pull back on your sleeves, seeing the scrawling now come out and then extend off of your hands. They travel out into the air and snatch something wrapping around it, a small form. You're not quite certain, you can't make out what it is.
Now my eyes are linked to you, and you are linked to it. Call upon it as you will, for this is your familiar, Haster. But remember, this servant ultimately serves me, not
servant and a spy.
you.
Excellent. Your wisdom knows no bounds. Oh. Bow my head in subservience.
And with that, a small form comes before you. You see this speckled, just like you, small demonic body floating in there with the writing is wrapped around it like chains, connected to you, though you can feel that you are just ensnared by the same as you have ensnared it. It has in some ways ensnared you. That this might not be exactly what you had hoped for, but it could work. And you can see the eyes snaring back at you, a big toothy grin floating there as it fades, leaving just the eyes and the grin.
Ha! Looks like I got this asshole to deal with now. Alright, shit for brains. Let's get moving back into the real world.
Keep yourself hidden when we get there. We serve the same master.
You think I'm some kind of moron like you? Fuckwad.
I like this guy.
I'll wave my hand and dismiss him from space as we...
As you go to do that, you notice there's
as we-
already a puff of smoke that has been there, where he disappeared, not even giving you the satisfaction of dismissing him.
Oh.
You can
He's
feel
gone.
those same circles. You can feel the same lettering circling around you now connect to the ground, and you see runes getting spelled out. Despite your ability to read anything, this, when you try to do so, causes searing pain as you can't even begin to comprehend what it says. It wraps around the ground again, creating that same sensation. You get pulled through and you reappear back in the same square by the temples with the axe still in hand. And almost caught off guard and breathless. Raven, you walk through the main hallway and outside, and Haster, you see Raven come outside. So,
yeah, this thing's magical. I don't know what it does.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Excuse me.
Bless you. You seem
Bring
a bit.
some food for me.
Yeah, but don't tell anyone. I'm not this nice of a person, really.
I
But I thought you should have some food.
I'm not worthy of the food, and I will take it from her anyway. I'll reach up and grab it. I appreciate your mercy.
Just don't tell anyone, okay?
Tell Flint this
I have a
thing gave me a
reputation.
headache. I'll help you with your reputation. Don't you
Okay.
worry. Tell Flint this thing gave me a headache when I tried to figure out what it does. And we'll have to pay someone who's a little more book learned in these types of things to figure it out than I am.
You're the most book learned person I know, but sure, I'll tell him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find a more nerdy nerd. So I'll hand the axe back to her and trade it for the plate of food. But I'm not stepping foot on the temple grounds, like what can be considered officially the temple.
All right. Raven, you turn back with the axe, I take it?
Yeah, I'll drag the axe into the temple and kind of drop it next to Flint. It gives him a headache. He can't figure it out. We'll have to find somebody else.
As you were walking away, roll me a perception check real quick.
6.
Okay. You could swear it came from Haster. The sound was there, but you really didn't expect it. You could swear as you were walking away from him, you heard a whistle, a sort of... I can't do it, but, that. You could swear you heard that.
I stop and kind of look over my shoulder and be like...
I'm digging into the food, like it didn't happen.
I'm gonna let it go, but the thought goes through my mind, how does someone with tentacles on their face make a whistle sound? And I just continue onward, like, how does he do that?
Man, that is weird.
So, Raven gets back inside now with the axe to you, Flint.
So yeah, Flint, I drop the axe next to you and say, it gives him a headache. We're gonna have to find somebody else to see if it's magical. Or, I think he said it. I don't remember. He can't do anything with it, basically.
Flint, you're
muted.
Alright, I'm surprised you can carry that thing. But, I guess we'll have to find a scholarly type of some sort. I'll strap it back on my backpack.
All right. So all of you now having been fed, one of the priestesses comes up to your group. Well, it's, we do have extra room if you need it for the night, but we're mostly filled up now. It would not be nothing but straw or hay, or you could seek lodging elsewhere.
Well, since Haster's not going to be sticking around here, we might have to anyway.
The rest of you,
thanks for the offer.
It's quite odd, but I don't know where the day went. It's unusual. And now, Haster, you having come back, and Raven, when you stepped outside, it's now catching your attention that she brought attention to it, and all of you are kind of shaking your heads. It was pretty much morning. Now it's night. Raven, you were walking through the main hall and you saw the sun lit up. It was dark all of a sudden as you went to exit, and now it's really catching your attention. So you were standing there, and then nighttime.
Huh. The others notice this as well?
As it's called to your attention, yeah, you notice you're looking around. It's like, it's not morning now, it's night. Are we just kind of hanging out for that long?
Something doesn't feel right about that.
Did these priestesses drug us?
What you didn't realize is you were actually in the Temple of Sayuna this entire time.
Garrett, you have no understanding of how much time is passing at this moment.
I don't care. I am no longer. I am in a place of beauty with my goddess.
All right.
In a trance-like state.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what's going on. We need to go get Garrett. We need to figure out what we're gonna do for tonight.
Tonight, it's already night.
I know. We need to rest. Well,
We just had breakfast or lunch or dinner. Maybe it was all three. Maybe we're eating all day.
Munch?
Proper?
Lunch.
Dunch. Dinner, lunch.
Dunch.
Breakfast.
Linner,
Breakfast supper.
okay? Linner.
Dinner fast.
so I vote we send
Anyway.
Flint in to go get Garrett.
Right. I am used to dragging him out of slippery situations.
Well, since you two fucked up the only inn in town, well, close
It's
by.
not the only inn in town.
It's not the only inn.
It's the only one
Not
close
the
by. We're gonna go have to find one that, well, you did rip the doors off from. So
He were gonna charge us 50 gold to stay there. That seems excessive.
was this after or before you ripped the doors off?
It might have been after. But I feel that's not the point right now. I'm gonna go. You guys figure it out. I'm off to get Garrett.
Yes.
I
I'll go
turned
in
to
there.
one of the sisters like, where's the next closest inn?
Asta knows where there's an inn.
Oh, does he?
He does.
All right.
How close is the Sayune temple?
It's just a couple 100 feet across. Like they're all facing each other towards the center.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
So
wander over
it's
to Sayune.
Pelor road leads up. Pelor Temple directly across. Sayune is on the left, and then Farlane's on the right.
Is there a dwarf temple?
Not here specifically out of the three.
Okay. I wander over to the Sayune temple then to go and retrieve my slippery friend.
All right. As you walk in, you can see the same thing with the gossamer cloth all hanging down. You kind of have to push your way through. It's a little bit perfumed and a little bit too fancy for your taste. And it's a little bit more ostentatious. It's very Garrett. And
Garrett?
as Garrett, you hear Flint clear as anything come break through your serene meditation.
Garrett, you in here?
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna sit there and be like, go away. Go the fuck away.
Where are you, you blasted offling?
As you push through more of the cloths, you can now see the central area, and you see Garrett just sitting there, cross-armed, in a pose, a meditative pose, just kind of twitching a little bit now from behind every time you shout. Oh, giving the finger like that.
What do you want, Flint?
GM question.
Mhm.
He's not naked, is he?
Nope.
Would that bother Flint?
Nope, he didn't say he got naked. He's
I don't see
there
how
in
that
his
would bother
full.
Flint.
He's there in his
just
full
wanted to
armor.
clarify.
Oh, okay.
Nope, full armor. He
Okay.
you would have expected Garrett in this temple to be naked, but no, he's fully armored and got all his equipment. And
Are
his
there any
other
naked
equipment is
ladies
tucked away.
around?
Nope. Just an empty area.
Garrett? Are you
What?
asleep?
What do you want, Flint?
Man, we gotta go. It's night already. We gotta find somewhere to crash for the night.
You know that you can crash here, right? There are rooms here. This is Seune. This is. I mean, I cannot guarantee you will not feel beautiful in the morning, but there is rooms here.
Are we talking general beautiful or your kind of beautiful?
Yes.
And what will it cost for the evening in Seone's grace?
Probably some sort of offering. It's been a while since I've been in a temple, but usually an offering.
Religion check.
Ooh. Way above 20. Hold on. Guess I rolled a 19. I like you, Day. Religion 23.
You know from Seune's temples typically that an offering is appreciated, but it isn't necessary to use what the temple offers to the general public, which is room for the night sometimes, a place to get out of inclement, weather, or to duck away from any number of bad situations going on. So the offering would be appreciated, not necessarily needed. But yes, he might feel both types of beautiful in the morning.
Yes.
So, are you done with what you were doing here, sitting on the floor, looking all weird?
It is called meditation. I was trying to cleanse myself of all of the evils and the evil things that we have seen with it. It's important for me to get closer to my. Yes, I am done with the meditation. Okay.
Okay. Good. Right. I'll go.
If we need some place to stay, Seune will keep us safe here.
Okay. I'll go tell the others. All
right. You walk back across the way, seeing Haster still sitting outside of the Temple of Pelor, just kind of, eating away at that. It's still an unsettling sight to watch Haster eat. It's not quite normal as the tentacles just dig in. You've gotten a little bit used to it, though. You walk back into the Temple of Pelor, find everyone sitting there at the same dinner place.
Hey guys, so we don't need an inn right now, as much as it disturbs me that we're not going to get ale. Garrett said we can crash out in Seune's temple, but I recommend you leave your armor on. Because he said we're going to wake up feeling beautiful, and I know what that means for that little bugger.
I do not want to go to the temple.
It's a bed. It's a bed for the night, and it won't cost us anything.
I think it's not a bad plan for the night, and we'll figure it out in the morning.
I'd rather wake up ugly.
Don't worry, Carrick. That's a done deal.
That ship sailed long ago.
But no, then in the morning we can go. We can get my axe. I got a one-track mind. We get my axe checked out, and we can go find this Hunters Guild. Get ourselves signed up for this great hunt. I feel like that's a worthy challenge for our new group.
Yeah. Well,
let's
sleep on it.
Types.
Yes, let's sleep on it, and we'll figure all this out in the morning. Somehow the day has gotten away from us. I'm not sure how.
Fine.
Excellent.
All right, well, I'm going to thank the sisters profusely and head on over to the Temple of Seune.
Oh, well, yes, you're quite welcome. Anytime you wish to return, you seem to be doing good. Trying to. You have a familiar look about you from Or a look that, I should say, finds this place familiar.
Well, I've known this place very well in my younger years. Well, that I walk out.
Thought I heard mention of that. Again, anytime you're welcome. We need to get the children to bed now. You're right, the day has gotten away from us. Something unusual.
Well, we have to
We'll
leave.
pray on it.
Thank you, sisters, and thanks for Paler and just potatoes. But we have
The
to
potatoes.
Alright.
Taylor, I'm sure we'll take your thanks for his potatoes.
Right. On the way out, I grab Asta. Hey, Asta, I know you don't like this place, but come feel beautiful for a night. You got somewhere to stay.
Yeah, I think I could stay in this place. I just can't.
You
I
think?
can't be.
Just don't wake up with Garrett's hand in your mouth again. That was just weird.
You two should have separate rooms.
I would appreciate that when at all possible. You know, I might go find a room somewhere else and just meet you guys back here in the morning.
I really think it would be better if we stick together for right now. Just for the night.
Oh, all right. Just for the night. One night.
Just for the night. We'll figure it
One
out
night.
tomorrow. One night here. I just feel like we're not really prepared to be splitting up, going off and doing something completely different, or, you know, if anything were to happen.
I just want to sleep. It's been. I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I am so tired.
All right.
It was probably just like
One
a few
night.
hours ago.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, Garrett, you see the rest of the group entering the Temple of Seune, and you welcome them in, showing them to.
Come eat
After
to the
looking through a couple of doors, you find a room that has beds in it set up. It's got relatively moderate, modest accommodations on its furniture set up, some offering tables and incense tables in there, but it'll work for the night. And the doors do in fact have a lock to them. It'll be a little bit cramped for all of you to stay in there, but you'll be able to rest up for the evening. So,
All right.
as all of you gather in the room, the smell of incense in the air, now starting to feel the effects of a day having gotten past you. You're starting to feel the exhaustion hit. You're feeling tired from the day, and sleep just starts to come over you. Even you, Dangulus, with your more elven form where you're not used to fully going to sleep, it hits you, and all of you just, with this drain taken out of you, not knowing why, are exhausted, pass out in these chambers that Garrett ushered you to, collected together. And that's where we're going to end for today, because going into the next series of adventures would be several hours more. So unless we're doing like a 24-hour D&D stream, yeah,
24 hours straight.
We should do
Not
that.
do it. I'm down, but not today.
Not today.
That would be
That's
intense.
a good idea.
Yeah.
We could.
No,
we
it'd be
could
fun. I would be
we could do something. We could do something like a charity stream or something like that with it as well.
Yeah,
like,
for, what are they
raise
calling it?
money.
Extra.
yeah. Haster, you're
Right.
level 3.
Extra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Is good to be named Naltog, yes?
It is International Tabletop Day today, so.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are gonna name it Naltog, right?
That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to tell
Okay.
him that's what his name is. Well, that's rather what I'm going to want people to call it and when they see it. Whatever its actual name is fine. They don't need to know his real name. That's dangerous information for imps to give out. But his moniker, if you will be Naltog. So when he says something shitty to me, I can be like, "Shut the fuck up, Naltog."
As you can already tell, he's saying shitty things to you.
Yeah.
And
you very
apparently.
well know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Butt pinching for everyone.
Oh gosh.
That's dangerous, because aren't imps poisonous?
It's even more dangerous because you have me.
Yeah. Who pinched my ass?
He may pinch you back.
My ass.
Just slightly too tenderly.
Yeah, so just be like, ooh, Hastur. I did not know you wanted to feel beautiful.
My butt feels beautiful.
Let us feel beautiful together and make the world beautiful and feel right.
Oh dear, our polyamorous cleric.
Oh, good.
Love is love, right?
Yeah. It's gonna
He wants
be
everyone to feel beautiful.
I want to make you feel beautiful.
it's gonna be a weird time.
Yes.
Stuff's
Yes,
gonna
it
get
most
weird.
certainly is.
Shit's gonna get weird real quickly in this campaign.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't yet.
You're implying it hasn't already.
Already.
Things are gonna get weirder.
Mm-hmm. I just want to find out what my damn axe is.
I know you do.
Yeah. Warlocks do not get the identify spell, or I would have done it. Although the other bad news is it costs 100 gold for the identify spell.
Holy cow.
It typically costs 100 gold.
Yeah.
It could be
If-
more
if-
expensive in this
Costs
city.
more.
It could be less expensive. You never know until you start looking.
So how dangerous is it to actually use a magical item without identifying it?
Not that dangerous. It depends on the actual.
Depends on the item.
Yeah, like there's potentially cursed items, but this doesn't seem like that kind of power. Like most cursed items are usually a little more powerful than like just a magic axe. So
Yeah.
probably not dangerous at all. You could realistically just start trying to wield it.
It also depends.
You'd be unlikely to kill yourself by doing that.
But you also wouldn't get any of the benefits if you don't know what it does. Then
Yeah.
like it could be something as simple as like a +1 axe. If it was a +1 axe, you'd get a +1 to your attack and your damage from the axe, but you wouldn't be able to like.
But if it was a +1
+1.
axe of fireballs, you wouldn't be able to do the fireballs out of it.
Yeah, either. Yeah.
Unless you figure out how to do the fireballs on accident and then keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like how.
Until he gets it
Wait.
size, though, he's not doing anything with it.
But
Yeah, it has to be his size.
an unidentified. No, it doesn't have to be his size. I said it's disadvantage if he tries to use it at that size.
Yeah.
In before it's an intelligent axe.
Starts talking to people.
Yeah, it's just been laughing at us this whole time.
It was trying to decide if it wanted to join our team. It's decided it doesn't.
Maybe it's intelligent, maybe it's not. You gotta find out. Keep watching to find out. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for all of us for today. I think some people are you doing your show, Astro?
Yes. Flint is actually going to be on there today. If Flint is still good with that.
Yay.
What time?
In like an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do it now.
So from all of us to you, keep on watching, keep on playing, and keep on rolling those bad rolls. Have a good night,
I
everyone.
like that one. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.